Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Halo, 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 halo. I didn't plug in the controller. I did, but I didn't. We're getting shot at. Oh,
I don't even know if we're live because I don't even have Twitch open yet.
Oh!
We've done everything out of sequence.
Oh, I got my SMG. Oh, here we go. Oh, we're in this room. I forgot. Oh!
Twitch.
Go to twitch.tv/comeongames.
Come on, games. Come on, games.
I Am Games is now Bandai Namco's alter ego.
Yes.
Namkai
Namkai
Bando.
We are Namkai Bando. Doesn't look like are we online? Yes, we're here, we're live. Let me
Welcome to I Am Games, the most on-brand show on Twitch.tv. I am the Master Chief, and I am finishing the fight today. Maybe. I don't know.
How far is the fucking lag time on this shit? Alright, there we go. We look good. Our shirts look good.
They
Halo
always
looks
look
good. Yeah, we're fucking here, dude. We're fucking doing it. We're fucking live.
We're doing it live.
I'm gonna fucking tweet about it.
Did you say a Mick fucking tweet?
I'm gonna make a fucking McTweet.
Oh, yeah, Mick tweet. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Who wants a McTweet sandwich with a side of McTweet fries?
Ooh, there's so many good choices for guns here. I think I'm gonna stick with the carbine though. No, I'm going for the BR because I do need something for long range. Apparently, if they're adding more of these sections. And fuck you, Grunt, I'll kill you.
I'm gonna announce some revolutionary ideas in a minute.
Yeah, I'm ready for you to spit this fucking fire because you're hyping it up, and it better not be gay, or I'll be really mad.
I'm tweeting, we are live, coming here to hear my revolutionary ideas. That's my pitch.
I can make a whole website about how gay Goblin Slayer is. Oh no. He's gone too far.
Goblin Slayer, more like Boblin Slayer.
Oh, I want... Oh, okay, now I'm using this gun.
My cousin used to... My cousin used to always like have a different laugh every year or so that he would do all the time. And it's like a weird effect where he would start laughing this certain way, and at first it would be really annoying, but then everybody would start laughing that way because it was like hilarious.
Sounds
and
terrifying.
then he would find a new laugh. But the one he was doing for the longest time was he would go and he got like all of our friends doing it. We'd all just be
That's weird how you would like consciously do a laugh.
I don't know if he was doing it on purpose, because his would change.
Well, I'm saying you guys were, right? At that point?
Well, at some point, it's like you just want to do it because you hear him do it and it's so fucking weird, so you start imitating it, but then you can't help it at a certain point.
Right.
And so it just like, and I assume that's how he ends up with those laughs, is that he starts doing it and then it just becomes how he laughs. I don't know, it was very strange. I could never tell if he was doing it on purpose, and if he had been, he would have never admitted it. He's a man who could keep a secret to the grave. Probably the best. If you ever wanted somebody to tell you about something without spoiling you, he would not. Even if you told him I don't care about spoilers, he will not spoil you. And he can do that. He can effectively just shut off the part of his brain that would want to tell you about things.
I mean, I could do that.
I can't do that. I'm seeing a whole lot of fucking I Am Games stickers in the chat. Hell yeah.
Emotes, use the right
Ready
terms.
for some revolution, emotes, whatever. Revolutionary
it's very
boy
important.
Conrad.
We got to look like we're Zoomer enough to understand Twitch.
What are your thoughts on the response to your thoughts on Goblin Slayer? Is that enough? I think you're one response short. I think
he's asking for your response.
My response to my own video, or to
the response?
The response to that video.
Yeah.
Because he's a couple responses short.
Well, you know, at some point it just gets a little confusing.
Did the first episode of SAO blow your mind with how great it is that you're ready to fall to your knees and beg forgiveness for every negative thing you've ever said about SAO? No? Didn't you see my video about it? It's shit. It's exactly the same as every other episode.
I think that was an ironic statement.
I just don't know why he would ask that ironically.
Because it's supposed to be funny.
It's not, though.
It's supposed to be.
What would you describe your art style as currently, and what do you want for it to look like in the future? Do you mean my, like, drawn art style?
It's very... I just gotta interject with whatever you're saying right now, because it's very weird how, like, I've torn through Hunters this entire game without thinking about it, but this one is, like...
was just, like, kicking your ass.
10 times more bullet spongy than all the other Hunters combined. And
maybe your aim was just shitty, dude.
No. I haven't needed to aim this entire game so far. It's pretty light on the aiming. I'm on normal.
Who knows?
I mean, I sank like a couple hundred bullets in them, so I'd assume I should keep the sprint so I can actually outrun him.
Maybe there was other extenuating circumstances the previous times that had not been accounted for. Or maybe they just made this one a super hunter.
Or maybe I just fucking had to grenade him in the face.
Yeah, that kind of trivialized that guy.
Felt good though.
Tom, how would you describe my art style? You've seen my drawings. Like, they're just kind of sketchy, warbly.
I would describe it. I would describe it as
guy who doesn't know how to draw.
I'm trying to think of the actual word. What is it?
Neophyte?
No, I mean that's true. I would say that, but the word I was looking for, I'm trying to think of like an adjective to go before it. Fuck. Sincerely kitsch is what I would call it, because there's sincerity in it, but it's also clearly as someone who's as of yet untrained.
Yeah.
But like there's a clear conscious effort to get better.
I think that something that stuck with me that was several times throughout my education, I had teachers tell me that like they thought that I could definitely be a successful writer because I had such an obvious voice that like regardless of how skilled I was at the technical aspect, it's just like it is unmistakable when I create something. And I think that that is the only strength my art has, is that like it's bad, it does not look correct, but you can see that even if I knew how to draw, it wouldn't look normal, you know, like it would still look like this. So I think that some people,
there's an intentional stylization going on top of the stylization of how the fuck do I draw.
Yeah, it's like you can tell that my mode of thinking is half of why it looks like that. That it's not just that I can't draw.
Think about it this way.
You know?
People spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to Cal Arts to draw just like you do.
I think that... Because, like, Ben has always told me... And I consider Ben to be somebody who truly does not care about technical quality whatsoever. He only cares about uniqueness. And he probably likes my art the most of anyone I've shown it to for exactly that reason. That he's like, and Devu as well. They both have praised the fact that like the approach I seem to take to drawing is one that they don't, like, almost can't wrap their heads around. They're like, I don't understand why you approach making lines this way, you know.
That is that's the kind of the upside to being untrained, is that you're not bound by.
Yeah, I mean, I am definitely very much an outsider artist in all regards.
I mean, I think that's why M.Dot's got such unique visual flair. He's completely untrained and never made any attempt to like learn.
Right, and I think that's the best way to be. Like, I think that if you are just like, it's one thing. People always say like, know the rules, then break them. And I think that
it's harder to break the rules once you get to that point.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's better to just learn your own rules, and like that will be a.
I think
it's a longer, slower road to the top, but it asks you to work harder.
Whoa.
And like
I am like going ham on.
I think at the end of the day, like
it depends on what you want to go for. Like if you're someone who like knows from the get go, I just want to draw weird. Like don't bother learning the rules because like. It's just gonna make it harder to tap into that weirdness. But if you're someone like me who wants to like have some semblance of traditional technique in what you're trying to do, and then like add a little bit of flair on top of it, it's worth it to like try and study.
I mean, like, because I care more about the logic of the techniques. I was talking about this. Me and May just did a new Pokemon Let's Play where I was talking about the comic I drew. and how like most of my approach to it was like thinking about paneling and how those would convey a sense of time.
Well.
How like I drew a lot of really big panels for something that's supposed to be taking a while, so that it's like you have this sensation that a lot of time is passing in this like this panel is going on for a while.
That is a real technique that is used, and Scott McCloud talks about it in Understanding Comics.
And like I know that stuff because I study this medium, I analyze it, like, but I don't feel like that's something you. I guess I would just quote Quentin Tarantino. My film school is film. Like
I mean,
just study
preach.
The actual work people have done, and it will. It's really funny that because Victor went to film school. Well, not film school. He took a film curriculum.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Ohio,
Mark.
Ohio gozaimasu.
Ohio gozaimasu.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
That's great.
Oh boy. In the middle of the
We're
night.
iterating on a meme.
Yes.
It's some next level shit.
That's what memes are about, man. It's all about iteration. Oh fuck! I can't believe I'm the first person to have thought of that one. I can't believe I haven't seen a bunch of Ohio gozaimasu. I'm real happy. It was a big cum just now. Sorry, I'm just basking in the afterglow. Anyway, what were we fucking talking about? Yeah, like Victor took all these film courses, and when I showed him every frame of paintings videos, he was like, "Why the fuck aren't they teaching us this?" Because like they don't teach you that kind of like practical, hands-on. Here's what makes a movie look good. You know,
it's because they're trying to. You go to like film school, they're teaching you how to get into the business. And I think they're going backwards,
but like, it's really. I feel like that's what a lot of academic teaching, like what a lot of like learning traditionally is like teaching you how to create a portfolio that you can pitch to a company so you can get a job at a place working on a thing. And my mentality has always been just make good shit.
College is almost as dead as YouTube, let's be real.
Yeah, it's true. Like, if you really want to be successful fast, make something that is inarguably good, and you just
or even make something that's
career.
Inarguably bad. That's your first step to make something that's inarguably good.
But like, when I was in high school, my idol was Ryuhei Kitamura. Who have you ever seen the movie Versus? I feel like you would love that.
I've seen part of it, but I did not see the whole thing. But the part I saw, I got pretty hard.
It's very Devil May Cry-esque.
Well, isn't it I thought there was some connection between Versus and Devil May Cry. Yeah, the guy who did Versus did the cutscenes for DMC3, I thought.
Oh shit, you're probably right. Ryuhei Kitamura probably did that.
Look it up, but I'm almost 100% sure
it's totally
that's
the
real.
same style of action, so I would not be surprised at all. That's fucking lit. But that dude... So, okay, that's perfect. That now you have emotional investment in this guy who I'm about to tell you about.
Yeah, he's fucking awesome.
Ryuhei Kitamura was this Japanese teenager who was obsessed with, like, handmade movies. Like, he was obsessed with, like, Blade Runner and Mad Max, and he wanted to make that kind of movie. And all he did was, like, he would constantly just, like, skip school to go to the theater to watch those movies. And then when he was 16 years old, in the 11th grade... He just one day stood up in class and said, "I'm gonna go drop out and become a film director," and he just left. And then I guess here's where the rich privilege comes in, because his dad allowed him to go down to Australia to film school, because there's a lot of good film schools in Australia, and Japan's fairly close. So he goes down to film school in Australia, spends all his time skipping class and going to the theater still. Like, basically the only thing he actually did as work was make his grad movie, which he, like, made in the weekend before it was due. Still manages to pass, because it's cool and fun.
Guy sounds like the best.
And it was kind of like a blueprint to Versus. So he goes back to Japan, and apparently, he was at, like, he saw, like, a street fight going on, and he approached one of the guys in the street fight and was like, "Dude, you should be fighting in movies, not on the streets," because the guy looked really good. This is how he got the lead actor for Versus. Just a guy he found in a street fight. So he invited this dude to a party, and when the dude shows up at the party, the director himself is in a fight as well. Like, he is fighting somebody at this party. So he basically...
sounds like the greatest human being who ever lived.
Yeah, so he takes this actor... And like he hires he basically made this movie on like like a few $1,000s. And all they did is they bought a bunch of prop guns and like trench coats and shit, got a bunch of like zombie makeup, went out into the mountains and just shot it all in the mountains in the forests. Because like it's basically just a crazy ass action zombie movie, and like most of it is about like finding every unique camera angle imaginable from which to shoot action, you know, and like most of the movie is action scenes. So it's just a bunch of dudes in trench coats doing matrix flips through the forest and shooting zombies, and like it's got like a really weird
That's like a 10 out of 10
like
for me.
black comedy vibe and stuff. And so of course this movie, like, you know, it gets, because it's like the most obviously like kitsch badass, you know,
gets panned by the critics.
No, it
But
fucking
the people love it.
It gets picked up by, well, I mean, I doubt it had a wide release in Japan, but of course, like, international distributors who are, like, trying to sell, like, kitsch Japanese movies were all over it. So, like, it immediately is, like, a worldwide success and a cult classic, like, everywhere on Earth as soon as it comes out. And now he has a film career. Like, the man has directed a film, you know, every couple of years since. It's just, like, he just made the thing. He was just like, I'm just gonna get the money, get the people, and do the thing that I know how to do.
It's almost
based
like
on what I've observed from other movies.
The path is a lie, and like the real path is just like whip your dick out and show everybody how big.
And I knew about this guy when I was in high school, so that was what I modeled my life after. Now, at the time, I wanted to be a film director, but the thing is, I did not have that go-getter. Like, it's easy to hear somebody do that and then go, I'm going to be that guy too. But, like, actually doing that requires you to be that guy, you know? And, like, I was not that guy. I believed I was that guy, but I wasn't.
We all want to be that guy.
Yeah. So, like, it's not something that just anybody can do, but, like, I do think that...
It's a good proof of concept that, like, yeah, all these barriers, they're not really there. Fuck.
Right.
Alright, I don't like how if you it says to hold down the button to switch guns, but if you just tap the button over a gun, it's like you're getting a plasma pistol. I'm just like, no, I think I'd rather be dead.
How would Mark, as a gay man, rate the Shotas in the new SAO?
The little blonde-haired boy, he's pretty good. Little
Mimi is an
Kirito
heir.
I hate
is
that kid
not,
so
I don't like little Kirito.
The second I saw the blonde-haired character on the promotional art, I already was sick of his character.
Yeah, but he's just the kind of, you know, he just has that face you want to rape. So...
Tom, creating your game, how that going so far?
Fucking good. I got state set up. I'm working on the first like real enemy design, which I finished. The like fucking slime piece of shit. He'll die in one hit. I'm setting up his movement right now. It's good. I have like a bunch of devlogs available now.
Hey guys, first off, any thoughts on Hippo stopping his main channel? I think we're both proud of him. Tom encouraged him to do it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I encouraged you to encourage him to do it, even.
Yeah, like, he basically did exactly what I said in Discord a few days ago that I recommend he do.
Because it's what you did.
Yeah, and I'm super poor, but I'm, like, not wanting to die. So,
yeah.
overall, I'll take not wanting to die.
Like, our experience has been, for the last few years, like... a significant amount of my interaction with Hippo has been him having meltdowns in the PCP about how he's not sure what to do about his YouTube career.
Yeah,
and
the answer to me was always obvious, stop.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like... Well, the thing is that with YouTube...
Has he ever complained about jailbait or bail-jape? Ever?
No, not once.
That's exactly, you know,
and like,
the truth will set you
It's
free.
just a matter of, like... For me... doing YouTube is so easy and so second nature that it's like, obviously it's okay for me to continue doing this because it doesn't matter if I have a big break. It doesn't matter this way or that way. I'm just going to do it out of, like, habit, you know? I am a habitual vlogger and a habitual writer. So, like, it's easy for me to have a YouTube career. If it's something you struggle with and you don't enjoy doing, you shouldn't do it. Because it is a nightmare. You will be pulling teeth, you know? And even for me, it can be pulling teeth a lot of the time, because I don't like to do anything I don't want to do. And if something I have to do for YouTube is even slightly something I don't want to have to do, it's a huge ask, you know?
Yeah.
And that's when I have guaranteed money on the table. Like, with Hippo, it's like, this is like, you know... it's like forcing yourself to do something that you don't even know if it's going to have a net positive result for you to have done it. For me, it's like, I know this will have a positive result, and I still don't want to do it if it's like anything less than exactly.
To be fair, though, the fact that Hypocrite never blew up does baffle me.
It's really strange, and I think it's always just been a matter of like, I don't know, he was close a couple of times and just didn't capitalize on it, but it was kind of too late. You know,
yeah,
like, because YouTube's been dead.
Are we gonna get to that point? We've been beating around the bush. I want this big idea.
I want to address the chat some. You know, let them know that we're here.
For like 20 minutes before the show started, he's like, "I have this great idea. It's gonna revolutionize the world. Your dick's gonna shoot into orbit. It's gonna be so good." I'm like,
I also want to make sure that there's enough people in here to hear my idea. Like, I didn't want to do it till we had built up. Like, we got 82 viewers now, so like we're pretty solid.
We're getting there.
Did Tom go to Denzel Curry? I don't think Tom even knows who Denzel Curry is.
Curry's kind of good, I guess.
But they really don't know Denzel.
I'm out of
Romeo
bullets.
is now hosting you. Well, we're getting hosted by people.
Who?
Someone named Romeo is hosting us.
Romeo.
Yeah. All right, here we go. I'm going for it. I'm going to fucking lay out.
All right.
This is going to be...
You're about to change my life.
This is an idea that I would encourage anybody who wants to try and make this real to try and do it, but please do it in the I Am Games Discord so that we can at least contribute and make sure that it's on the right path to being what I think it has to be. Because, like... This is not something I can build by myself. I don't think me and Tom definitely don't have time to build this, or even to be super involved in it. And even by discussing this idea, I am risking that someone will take it and make a crass commercial version of it, and that's okay. More than one version of this can exist. So, basically my vision is, what if you combined, like,
chocolate and peanut butter.
Like a Second Life-esque MMO with the functionality of Discord and a multi-platform art creation or hosting service for like video, comics, whatever, just anything you want to post online. So here's the idea. The main interface of this game would be like a lobby. You've got like your own little custom avatar. There's a million servers, just like Discord servers. But each server is just like basically a lobby where your little 3D characters are. And it would function as sort of just a chat room. You can just log in, be standing in the room, and just chat with people like you normally could.
So
be
VR
that
chat.
through, yeah, sort of like VR chat. So, however, you'd be in this like this lobby area, but you can just like go over into like a little door, kind of like in PSO, how like there's the ship and then there's just like the door that goes to the levels, and you can just play video games through this interface. So it would be like having your Steam interface inside of this game, and then the other people who are there could then like spectate your game within this program. Now, a big part of it is that we will also be hosting creations through this service. So if you make a game, you can just upload it to this thing, and it will all be peer-to-peer, how it gets transferred. And so, like, anybody who makes a game can just put it up on this thing, and other people can play it. Now, the system will be that everybody has their own room. Just like in Phantasy Star Online 2, you have like your own room that other people can visit, and it's like an instance of this room. But in this world, in our game, then when you go to somebody's room, there will be like a bookshelf that has all of their drawn, like maybe they wrote a book and they uploaded it to this program. You can go up to the bookshelf, read all their books. You can go over to a TV in their room, play the games they've made, watch the YouTube videos they've made, and like all of it is hosted just peer-to-peer via this service. So like there's no need for us to have like server space or anything. There's no need for this to cost money for anybody, basically. So this would just be like a free open source like Discord kind of service, but one that is also, it's simultaneously BitChute, Discord, and like an MMO game. And the reason I would want it set up this way is
what's the MMO game aspect?
I mean, I don't know if there'll actually be like...
Is this a game or a content delivery platform?
It's mostly a content delivery platform / chat room is like the main purpose of it.
It's like if real life wasn't gay.
I guess so. I mean, the idea... The reason I had the idea is that I was thinking about how these days everybody...
Just call it Third Life.
Third Life, yeah.
It's like Third Impact. But
everybody's saying it's
life.
like Gun Gal Online.
It is like Gun Gale Online, but without the game. Except you can't make your own games and upload them.
Except
to Gun Gale
every room is a cafe, and your
Yeah.
avatar has to be eating at all times.
Yeah.
And spinning his finger around on a fucking
We can have
glass.
adults only ones where people can make their avatars fuck. We could do that.
Well, I mean, that's how do you think we're gonna get money for funding?
Yeah.
You gotta-
I mean, the thing is that this thing, it shouldn't be hard to build because everything will be peer-to-peer. So, like, as long as there's no overhead of, like, server costs, it's just a matter of making a Discord, like, you know, making a chat clone, making a video upload service, and putting this all... I don't know how hard any of that is to do, because I have not involved myself
Probably
in any
insanely
of it.
hard.
I mean, it seems like it's pretty easy to make these things because people are doing it constantly, you know?
Yeah, but people are also really smart
Yeah.
and have no lives.
Well, the idea of and like I said, this would be if somebody, I mean, I shouldn't even say if somebody found a way. It would be dead easy to make this into a profit venture. Like, this could serve ads so easily. It could be advertised so easily. You could easily make a crass commercial version of this. But what I would want is to make a version where it's just, like, it's just free and everything's just open and you can just post your fucking shit here. And, like, the idea that you could go to somebody's room and it would have all of their art in the room in a way that makes, like, it's, like, fun to interact with it because you're going into
So is this
their
like a
space
VR
and
thing, or is this like traditional?
I mean, it could
computer
just...
shit?
I just imagine it as, like, fucking MapleStory graphics. Like, you know, just like a game where you just...
MapleStory
you move an
2.
avatar around and, like, yeah, like MapleStory 2 graphics, I meant. Like, you know... It doesn't... The interface, the visual interface doesn't have to be anything special because it's basically just a chat room. Like, it should be something you can open as easily as Discord and just be there with your friends in the different servers that you are in, you know? Like, I would even say...
This sounds a little bit like that fucking PlayStation Home thing that was around for a while.
It's a little bit like that too. But, like, I want it to be as low load and easy to... Like, imagine if you opened up Discord and when you clicked on one of your servers, it was just a virtual screen that had all your avatars standing around and then the chat was, like, overlaid on that. But you could, like, turn off the chat, walk your character over into a door, and then go play a video game. You know? Like, I want it to be that simple. Like, it's not like a big world. It's not like there's all kinds of stuff to do. It's just, like, an extra layer of abstraction that makes it so it can sensibly also host content. And then part of the reason I want it this way is that I'm somebody who I don't like to talk to people. I don't like to participate in a Discord. And one of the things that's funny is, like, I read most of what goes on in the Discords I'm a part of. I just don't say anything. And as a result, people think I'm never there. And, like...
You're just a lurk master.
There might be a way, like, maybe we'd have a way that you could have your avatar either be visible or invisible if you just want to use this as a chat client.
Record PCP and VR. And
PCP VR. Yeah, it could be done. But, I mean, the point of this is not necessarily... I mean, this could have VR capabilities, but, like, it wouldn't be the point.
No.
But, like... I imagine it would be dead easy to make a VR version of this if it's as simplistic as what I'm describing. Like, it literally would just be, like, a cool room where a bunch of avatars sit around, and then, like, each server would just be another instance of the room. Maybe the room could be customizable by the people on that server, you know, whoever's admins, and that way each server could have its own unique visual approach. But, like, you know, it's not going to be a huge space. It's just, like, here's a place where people can congregate, lightly design and customize. But, like, the reason I was thinking of it is that, like, these days everybody is sort of going into cliques. It's like people aren't so much creating for themselves and their unique visions as much as they are creating for a set audience, and that bothers me because it hurts people like me who don't feel like we fit into a specific clique, and I don't want to have to make... The way I see content going right now is that you've got to make something for this Discord group, you know? Like, that's what the future looks like to me. Is like people getting into further and further factionalized small cliques for which you have to make something that appeals to that specific group so that they'll patron you. And like the lone artists don't have an easy path to like bring people back to their personal art. And I think that if you had something like this room concept where like you could make stuff that's for your little Discord posse, but when someone goes to your room, all of your shit is there. And it's like you just have this one-stop, like, this, like, it's almost like a visual representation of the inside of your mind is your room, you know?
I mean, that would be nice. We wouldn't have to have, like, go to my Twitter for this, my YouTube for
Exactly. It would be like you walk into someone's room and, like, you go over to the bookshelf, there's all their written content. You go over to the TV, there's all their video content and their games and all that stuff, you know? Like, it would be, like, you know... I just think it would be super fucking cool, and it would be way better than having a website, you know, and like nobody wants to go to your website, but if your website was built into the chat client that everyone uses all the time, you know, it's like, imagine if instead of telling all the people in your Discord, go to my website, if you could just click on someone's name in Discord and it brought up their room and their shit was just there, you know?
It would be nice.
Now, it's possible that this could be done with just integration with other platforms as opposed to, like, literally being the host of everything. But, like, the most important thing is just that if everything's peer-to-peer, then there's no overhead cost for all this. And, I mean, this is already the theory that, like, DAT browser is using, and, like, it's basically what me and you think of as Web 3.0. Is, like, the web where nobody has control over anything because it's all peer-to-peer and it's all decentralized. But, like... I think.
Speaking of which, the whole thing is becoming way more important. Do you see the good sensor? Did you hear about that?
No.
The good sensor is a leaked presentation made by Google about how they actively want to adopt a European censorship model and are prioritizing civility over freedom.
Look, I'm going to tell you right now, Google is dying. And it's very... Okay, YouTube's already dead. And YouTube is putting the nails in its coffin right now because they're going to roll out that fucking editor is going to be mandatory starting next year.
Did you hear that Google Plus is shutting down?
Google Plus shut down. Did you know about that, Tom?
Yeah, thank God.
Google is going to... I think they are deliberately letting this happen. I think that they know that they can't survive as the all-encompassing world power, that they are going to become more of a niche product, and that people who really care about privacy or about, like, you know, just not living in an Orwellian nightmare are going to leave the platform. And, like, I think they've already lost the point where they could have been the rulers of the world that, like, I was afraid they would be. I think too many people are onto their game and they haven't evolved fast enough to keep control. So... I think Google's on the way out. That's my real fucking high brain theory. I don't know what I'm talking about, but it feels right kind of mentality. But, like, there's a very clear trend. Everyone who's been trying to escape the... this is not plugged in anywhere. Will you plug this in for me?
Where?
Back there's an outlet behind those boxes. I don't know if there's any free spots. This battery is, like...
critically low.
Yeah. But, like, so everybody's been trying to escape from the YouTube infrastructure, and, like, everybody who built a YouTube clone failed because nobody has the money to shoulder the server space to host what YouTube can. But then sites like BitChute that just sidestep that altogether by just making it a torrent client that is a video player. I've been able to upload... I uploaded a fucking 16 gigabyte video to BitChute that was 6 hours long with no problem. Like, I have not been able to do that on any website that's not YouTube. And that's all I've been waiting for. That's all I wanted from a YouTube competitor. And, like, it plays just fine for the people who've clicked on it. And I uploaded it off of a hard drive. So, like, I don't know if it was uploaded to a server initially and then becomes... I don't even know how the peer-to-peerness works. Like, I really don't. All I know is it does work. Yeah. So, like, if peer-to-peer is the way to go, because you know, it just relies on the quickening of connection speeds and the fact that as long as someone's willing to host it somewhere, I still don't even know how the fucking shit works. Like, DAT now has it so you can turn off your computer and people can still access your shit, so I don't know how that is a thing. I don't know if it, like, just saves, like, a cache of data or something. Don't know the tech, but I think that this integration, because right now we're in a period where the reason that competitors can't survive is that everybody wants their shit centralized. People do not want to have to go all over the internet looking for shit. But, like, if we can't escape from the money that's at the heart of all that, then we won't be able to make unique content, you know, or the stuff they don't want us to make. So, like, yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think my idea is revolutionary? Do you think this is the possible answer?
I mean, it sounds like a good idea. I would enjoy that. I mean, the problem, I don't even think it's a problem, but I think the danger is that if someone does make a capitalistic version of this, like, they become the internet monopoly.
But that's the thing. They can do that, and it doesn't matter, because as long as there is the alternative version, then, because they're always going to censor theirs. Like, it's always going to come down to that if they want to do that, if they want to make that version, they're always going to have to employ the same draconian shit that made us want to leave Google and YouTube in the first place. But if a version of this exists that isn't like that, then there's no stopping it. You know, like, it's not like they can make us not be able to do it, the indie version. And, like,
right.
Like, with stuff, like, I mean, I already feel like something like, again, BitChute or like the DAT browser, like, is already making this possible. But I think that as long as there was a client that people knew about that, like, centralized all that shit and was just like, here's your one-stop shop. You can chat here, you can post your shit here, other people can find your shit here, but no one owns this, you know? And, like, that would be the ultimate. And, like, once it exists, then yeah, it could just end up being a stratification of, there's the normies who have the paid-for version that gets advertised on TV, and a lot of people will post their art on that one, but they'll probably post the same art on the other one too. You know, you can just have two communities. You can just have your sellout channel on the big one and your fucking indie shit on the other one, because your indie shit that's really fucking out there is not going to be hosted on the mainstream one. They're not going to allow it, you know? So yeah, that's why I think it could work. If anybody wants if anybody has any idea how to make this real, join the I Am Games Discord. If you know people who you think could make this real, put them in the I Am Games Discord. We have Tom has made the I Am Games Discord in like 4 days. He made it more complex and powerful than my Discord has been in the year and a half it's existed.
Well, I gotta give credit to Batsling, who's like, just do this and do this and do this. I'm like, oh,
yes,
okay.
but see, I have people telling me to do that kind of stuff, and I just don't trust anybody. Like, the reason I never get anything done is people offer to help me, and I go, well, I don't know who you are, so I don't believe you.
Well, I give people the benefit of the doubt. Plus, Batsling's a patron of mine as well, so.
Well, anyway.
Also, Batsling, if you're watching, or if you ever watch this on the replay at some point, I realize that your icon is a bat, or at least on, like, Twitter, but for the longest time I thought it was a Kamen Rider face, because the way the bat is shaped and everything, and it was so small, I just thought it was a Kamen Rider. And I just thought that was funny, and you should know that.
What a disappointment.
No, it was kind of cool. It was a good Kamen Rider design.
Yeah, but it wasn't actually Kamen Rider.
Yeah, but I mean, it made more sense. His name's Batsling.
Yeah. Alright, now I'm going to look back through all the stuff.
Rant off.
From when I was ranting.
I just want that to be realer.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that this idea that I'm proposing could make this happen a lot faster. Because, like, right now it's like we could make art on these other platforms, but, like, it would be, if there was just, like, a place where it could be like, hey guys, I'm going to this thing now, and it's real easy to look at all my shit here, you know, like, you don't have to sign up for 6 new websites and download a whole new fucking infrastructure of internet onto your computer to look at my art. Just download this thing, you know, and you'll be able to talk to all your friends there too. it was making the switch to Discord was very easy because all we had to do was refuse to use Skype. Like, that was how I got everybody I knew onto Discord, was I just told everybody, like, look, I'm not going to talk to you anymore unless you get on this program, you know?
Yeah, that's what I did too.
And, like, I think that we could reasonably get, like, an amount of our audience to follow us to another platform using that tactic as well, but it would feel... it would not feel like it was in their best interest, just our best interest. It'd be like, hey, like, I don't like having to be on YouTube, but, like, this doesn't offer you anything better other than you offer me peace of mind. And some people care about that and some people don't. I think if we had a platform that was just legitimately so much better that it was like, guys, you are fucking fools if you don't get on this thing, then that would make it a lot easier to transition, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Say...
Keyblade Spirit, okay, but when do we trap people inside of it?
We'll get there. It's like the first big update.
What's the incentive to go to someone's room? I mean, I would just to look at their stuff. Like, I mean, I imagine people would advertise their rooms within whatever.
Right. The
Discord
idea, I'm assuming, would be instead of having to have like a tree of links for all these different sites, you just be like, my room has everything.
Right. Exactly.
It's just like a streamlined version of it. It's like what you could do with your own website, but with none of the programming and none of the friction of having to go somewhere you're not familiar with.
So, like the chat rooms in Psycho-Pass, yes, that's basically what I'm describing. Like the servers in Psycho-Pass, because those were all like, you know, it was like customized around that community, but it was basically just a chat room. But like, I don't think we need to go like. I think the problem with stuff like the PlayStation chat and like Second Life and shit like that is that it's too much. It's like a whole world, and I'm just talking about making like a chat room that like I literally want you to be able to just open it as easily as Discord. Like, I don't want it to be like a load time. I don't want you to go through login screens and shit. You just like click a button and your thing is there. And like, I think most people probably wouldn't even bother with the graphical overlay element. Like, you could probably just make it so it is text only, and like a lot of people would use it that way. But like having this, you know, this extra added features would be good. A fucking Discord themselves could make this happen, honestly, and I'd be happy. Like,
yeah,
I don't even know what I don't know what they're beholden to. But I know you can't post lolly porn on Discord, so they're not completely.
No, they've banned a lot of shit. So
yeah.
They're not on the freedom bandwagon for sure. That's what it is now. It's freedom versus civility. Can I just use a fucking grenade? Oh my fucking god. So they added things where you can have like grenade attachments to some guns, but you can't use regular grenades when you have them.
Do you guys know that we can't hear the game? Don't worry, we can't hear the game either. We
Yeah.
don't know why. We didn't solve this problem in the last 2 days.
Well, we didn't even try, to be
No.
honest. Oh, wait a minute. Why would I not use the hand cannon from God? Here it is.
Yes, yes, yes! That instant headshot, instant death, though.
It's like riding a bike. You just never forget.
Yeah.
It's always there.
I legitimately, like, the reason that I was so... I really think, like, the main reason that the Halo 1 campaign is better than Halo 2 campaign is this pistol. Because you can play through the whole fucking campaign with this pistol and it's satisfying.
The fact that they just... This
It's
is
the
the
best
first
pistol
gun.
in any game.
Yeah. Oh, I got hit my own grenade, I think. Oh, but I fucked him up gooder. It's fine. Oh, no. What? Alright. Yeah.
I've always been a big fan of, like, being, like, any game that has, like, if you get a headshot, they'll die, and, like, the pistol is good, then I want to use the pistol.
I mean,
like,
I'm just about handguns in general over rifles.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, I don't care to have bullet spray as much as I want to just shoot somebody in the head and try to get that headshot.
like, bullet spray is fun. That's why I have the SMG, which surprisingly is doing pretty goddamn well. Probably because this game was originally designed around the assault rifle, which works exactly the same way.
I'm also I also love shotgun, of course.
God.
Shotgun
The only problem is,
awesome.
like, shotguns sometimes do not have enough ammo,
Yeah.
like, to balance the fact that
Shotgun
they just, like...
in Halo definitely is more like, it feels more like a power up. It's like use it till it's gone.
I mean, you need it in the flood sections though. Or you're fucked.
Yeah. The shotgun's very important in those parts, and
which I'm not excited to get to. I wanted to do a video about Halo, and I guess maybe we could mention this in the I Am Games video about how like the second half of Halo misses the point of Halo to a degree, in my opinion.
Which one does?
Oh, like this one.
Wait, what are you talking about? I wasn't paying attention.
The second half of Halo's campaign kind of like undoes the goodwill that the first part had. Because like the tagline of the game is "Combat Evolved," right? And the huge selling point of this game at the time, besides like the graphics and that it made the Xbox worth a damn, was that like the AI was really good and they reacted to your movements and stuff, and like it was really engaging to be in these firefights because they'd take cover and they'd try and flank you. They'd call for reinforcements. And then the second big reveal of the game is like, oh, you get to fight zombies now, and they just bum rush you.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like this kind of deflates the entire point of this game being good.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people really liked the flood segments because they were so frantic.
I know the library is like infamous as like a level that drags on too long.
Yeah,
because it does. God, if they added more to the library in this, I will kill them.
Like I never liked the flood sections just because like what's frustrating about, for instance, using the shotgun is that there's lots of little ones, and it's like you want to conserve your ammo, so you try to like take out as much as possible, but you always like miss a couple, and then it's like, well, what am I going to switch guns and like?
Well, I mean, for me, my strategy's always been, when it comes to the little ads, just let them hit you. They do like 1/10 shield damage, and you'll just regen it anyway. They're not worth the ammo.
I guess so.
Like unless there's a whole mass.
I played this campaign, so I don't want to make any too many statements about about it till I see it again.
13-year-old Conrad, I'm sure, had different strategic thoughts. Yeah, get fucked, asshole. Oh, it's not hurt. Dun dun dun.
Ninja Jess says, I don't trust Discord. I mean, how do they earn money? That's a good... I've often said that, like...
I mean, we're the product. I'm sure they're logging everything we do in those chats to sell to advertisers.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, has anyone read through their TOS? I'm sure there's something about it in there.
I have no idea. I mean, I know that they have like a lot of gaming integration
fucking damn
stuff.
it.
I don't know how
God
much.
Fucking damn it.
I don't know if Steam pays them to have the whole Steam thing, you know?
I guess they do make money through Nitro.
Pro. What the hell is Nitro?
Mage has Discord Nitro.
What the fuck is it?
You pay monthly, you can use like animated GIFs and stuff.
You can already post animated GIFs on Discord.
No, I mean like animated emojis and shit.
Alright.
That's why Mage always uses like the little, like the dab thing, like, and like Nate keeps getting mad that he can't use the dab because he doesn't have Discord Nitro, and Mage always shoves it in his face.
I have not noticed this transpiring at all.
Well, I mean,
that is worth giving your money to Discord for.
But like
Mage in general has some eccentricities that I don't understand.
You know,
yeah,
it's part of being a woman
and Lithuanian. I think
I guess
my dad bought a bunch of stock in Twitter, which was a huge mistake.
Yeah, they've been on the downswing for a while.
And I don't know if he was...
Should be buying Trump stock.
Like, he should have probably just sold it off immediately, because I think he was expecting it to pick up again, and it's not going to happen. And what I told him was, like, I could have told you not to buy stock in Twitter.
Buy stock in Facebook.
And the reason is because I don't understand how Twitter makes its money. And the answer is...
it's been bleeding revenue
The answer
forever.
is that it doesn't.
Right.
Exactly. Because, like, anytime I look at a platform and I think, like, there's no way that this... Like, I don't understand how this could possibly be profitable. Now, like... And granted, you know, Twitter didn't used to have the amount of ads and the amount of, like, weird shit that it pushes on you that it does now. But even that stuff is totally ineffective. Like, it obviously doesn't work. So it's like... Like, the reason that internet ads became so worthless is that they do not work. And, like, if you... There's like, people who've got speeches out there and shit about how, like, internet advertising is, like... from the beginning has just been a losing industry, and like the only reason people involve themselves at all is that they don't seem to have realized it yet.
I like Gary Vee's thing about it. He talks about like advertising and stuff. He's like, marketers ruin everything. Like everything's good until marketers saturate it, and then people move on.
Right.
Like, that's why nobody cares about email anymore.
And
it's like when I started with email marketing back in the 90s, I had a 97% open rate on email.
That's fucking crazy.
Because everyone's like, oh my god, it's an email. Now it's like, if you get like 1% open, like that's amazingly good.
Right. And
so
like, there was a time when like you could literally sustain a website and have like a career off of fucking banner ads.
Right.
Like, and like because of the fact that so many people did malicious banner ads and made it into a thing that nobody trusts, like I would never click a banner ad because when I was growing up they were all viruses or like some kind of credit card stealing scheme, you know? So like nobody trusts them, and as a result nobody clicks them. And then like also just the kind of stuff like I feel like that stuff would have worked on the previous generation or like our generation when we were young, but like the generation who's come up on the internet just doesn't care about any of the shit advertised because they want everything for free because it's all available for free on the internet. So it's like advertising online is just
dumb.
Just a broken idea. And like
I mean, there's still
so many people
isolated
have said
cases
this.
where it works, but
I mean, it works if you're doing something like those integration deals with like podcasts. Like, but I feel like podcasting has the healthiest relationship with advertising because it's usually like a product that is targeted to that
it's
podcast.
also very hard to skip or block them because they're built into the audio.
Right, exactly. It's hard to skip them, and they're usually something that's targeted to the audience because usually the podcaster has some tact about what they're willing to do, you know?
It's just
so
a
it's
better
like,
understanding of what advertising is and what
Yeah.
is successful advertising, because like the way it's integrated on the web, it's just like they took TV ads and put them on the internet, even though people interact totally different with the internet than how they do with TVs.
Well, it's because like what's gonna kill this entirely is like, cause like, oh god, watch Gary Vee. He's fucking great. I love Gary Vee. He's like, you guys got to get in on this internet shit now because like the big companies are still spending so much fucking money on TV, and as soon as they realize that like, oh, Facebook ads are cheaper, like you're gonna see like way fucking more advertisements on all these platforms. It's gonna become TV, and then the prices are gonna go up, and no one's gonna use it, and then it's just gonna be dead. You know, like these big companies are in the business of killing industries. That's what they do. Just like I killed those 2 Marines by accident right there. It's fucking sick.
I'm waiting for the day where ads are just put into our brain, streamed into our brain.
Copex Digiboy says, I don't listen to podcasts that have ads or I skip over the ads. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people do skip over them. I'm like...
Whenever I listen to the Ben Shapiro show, I always skip the ads.
For me, it's like depending on... Like, if it's a podcast I really care about, like, just even listening to the person who I like do an ad read can be entertaining, you know? I mean, literally, I bought everything advertised on Biggest Problem in the Universe. Like, I got a Harry subscription, I bought a Casper mattress. I think they had a third advertiser, I don't remember what it was. But, like,
sheet.
It was all stuff that was, like, clearly the kind of people who would listen to this show
You're forgetting about your sponsor.
Which sponsor? Oh, Doritos? Yeah, my sponsor, the spicy sweet chili Doritos. One day they'll actually pay us.
Did I ever tell you about the fake sponsorship I did on my old podcast way back in the day before podcasts were even really a thing?
No.
So there was this service called Blog Talk Radio. And this was before podcasting was really accessible and like live calls and things were a thing. This was like 2005, 2006, like very early, like internet starting to become a thing people cared about. And you could host a live show, and then Blog Talk Radio would give your show a phone number that people could call in, and you could have callers on it. And I found out about
my god, hold on. We're getting a bunch of Doritos emotes in here. Where did these come from?
We're on a fucking gaming website. Of course, Doritos.
One is a hand grabbing a bag of Doritos, and another one is just Doritos themselves.
Look, approved times 10. Doritos Corp, contact us. But yeah, so there's a site, Blog Talk Radio, and
Halo plus Doritos, the meme is alive. Dude, let me raise the bar one step higher. by dual fisting Mountain Dew.
No. You're dual wielding. We're playing Halo.
Oh!
If only we had gamer fuel, we'd be totally set. You know the best thing about playing Halo on PC is?
Oh, Doritos are like a standard emoji.
Oh, everybody has them.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I mean, it's Twitch. It's a fucking video gaming website. They know who their target demo is. But yeah, Blog Talk Radio, M-Dot had a show on it, and that's how I found out about it. I called in. It was a hilarious show. He had it at like 3 a.m., and he had a soundboard of Charles Bronson from Death Wish, who he'd kill people with. It was a fun time. So I did my own show with my buddies, and
is this podcast available to listen to anywhere?
I think it's gone. I don't think it exists anymore.
M-Dot, why you don't archive all your shit?
Yeah, I know. It was great, but we did.
I know why you don't, because you're a human content machine, and I don't either.
Yeah,
it's
you guys
hard.
both suck. But
it's hard. It's hard to keep up with all the shit you've made.
Eyes?
Whoa.
Don't we have Hot Pockets downstairs?
Oh,
We did at some point.
Alright, anyway, what the hell are you trying to get out?
I'm trying to say that we had a fake ad that we said we were sponsored by our Bill's Pizza, which is near our area, and we would advertise them before every episode. And I don't think they ever knew, because we had a couple listeners. We'd hype them up all the time, even though they were the worst pizza place of all time. But that's why
Dude,
we like them ironically.
I have legitimately given so many customers to both Kona Grill and Kevin's Doghouse. Because Kona Grill is right. You know about Kona Grill. You've eaten there, right?
Kona Grill.
It's right next to the Baltimore Convention Center.
I mean, I was veg the entire time I went there.
Now that I think about it, if anybody wanted to convince me to go to BronyCon, they really should just try to sell me on the fucking Kona Grill.
I mean,
I would almost be willing to make that trip just to eat another fucking.
Conrad?
Yeah, exactly. Because they sell the barbecue chicken flatbread that is my favorite thing I've ever eaten in my life.
I could actually have it for the first time. I'd have to.
Well,
have
it'll
it
break
on
your
the fat
keto,
bread.
but.
I'll just have the barbecue chicken, I guess.
Why?
Why is everything gay? Why is everything gay? I think this is a new section, right? Because when you come out of this door, it's not like a cliff thingy, is it?
Zargi says, so apparently the Beaker browser is made in Electron. I can respect moving towards peer-to-peer, but if I have to run a web browser inside a web browser disguised as a native app that just happens to use over 2 gigs of memory for something that should take 200 megabytes, I'll make this house a little less full. I assume he means by throwing things out the window.
I'm surprised that the Beaker browser is in Electron, because I thought it was just a fork of Chrome. That's what I read. However, the Beaker browser is not the DAT project, it's just built on top of DAT. There is some executable that you can install DAT directly on your system. I have no idea what that does though. Because I've despite being on board 100%, I've not done the requisite research, and nobody's talking about it except for developers speaking in dev speak that I can't understand. So I really have to sit down and spend 6 hours just parsing the fuck out of everything. And I'd be the first normal person or normal autist, non-dev autist to fucking apparently give this shit a try. But I'm really excited about it. Because I know it's going to be niche. It's never going to get super full big. It's going to be the Linux internet essentially. That little market penetration, but that fervent of support by the people who are there, and that's where I want to be. Those are my niggas, and I want to be with them.
Is DTube still a thing? No. DTube sucked because
Didn't they
just didn't work.
Put it on hold?
I mean, I don't know about that, but even when it had in the time that I was using it,
it's a shame. DTube was a good name.
It was a really good idea, and it still is a good idea, but there just literally are not enough people hosting the blockchain for it to work. And
struggle is real.
They straight up were just look, if we had enough people hosting it, then it would be fine, but not enough people know about this, and not enough people are incentivized to talk about this. And I thought about doing a thing, but
no.
What I'm worried about is becoming the boy who cried YouTube alternative, you know? I don't want to keep telling my audience, oh, we gotta go to DTube, we gotta go to this, and then, everybody shows up there and it dies, you know? IGTV, it doesn't matter, nobody cares. It's that's why I want there to be, one definitive one that it's guys, this is the answer, you know? which is why I had my revolution idea.
Well, yeah, I think, I don't know. I don't bother with IGTV anymore because Gary Vee stopped posting on there, and if Gary Vee doesn't care, it's not going to work.
No, definitely.
Like, Gary Vee, he posts like 30 times a day on everything.
I trust your trust in Gary Vee to know better. God. What was I going to fucking say?
Dude, Gary Vee just started this new show called Trash Talk. He's like, his like whole thing is that like everybody should be making a fuck ton of money because you can just flip stuff, and like he's been on that train for like a couple months now. So he's like the head of a $150 million company, right? Like he called VaynerMedia, where he just like does like consult work for people. And he's, for the last like 3 months, every weekend, like he's been going out like to garage sales and like flipping shit on eBay. And like he made a show about it. He's like, yeah, like I make like this much money, but I just love making money so much.
It's like Pawn Stars if it was real.
Yeah, and it's fucking great. And like he's inspiring people to like make like $1,000 a week. Just like he's like, yeah, you could do this full time, just work 1 day a week, go out on Saturdays.
I mean, plenty of my aunts figured that out, but they didn't do good at it. That's the thing is, Gary Vee is a smart man who, I mean, I'm sure if he gives people good enough instructions, they maybe could, but like a lot of my mom's side of the family is like really into thrifting and like reselling shit that way, but they all do it as badly as imaginable, except for her younger sister will actually like, she can like has an eye for collectibles that are worth something.
Right,
so
that's
she
what
sees,
Gary
like,
Vee does. You gotta like get up on that
if she sees like a worthwhile Barbie doll or something, she'll resell it on eBay. But like, my grandma will just like literally buy shit with the intention to resell it at a yard sale, and it's like, you are not going to get as much as what you paid for it. I don't care if it was.
You don't sell them at yard sales. You sell them online. Like,
right. Well, she doesn't know what the internet is. I mean, but I also have another aunt who tries to do it with eBay, but it just is incompetent at what is worth reselling. You know, she just like sees a thing that she thinks is cool and tries to resell it, but has no. She doesn't like research it.
You gotta go on eBay.com. You gotta see the sold listings for that item.
Right.
See if it's worth a fuck. Like there's this funny part in the episode of Trash Talk where he finds these like in-box toys, like, oh, these are worth something. And so he just whips out his phone and starts looking them up, and like the mic picks up the lady. He's like, at least drive away so I can't see how bad I got ripped off. It's good shit, man.
So I haven't actually given my YouTube is dead rant yet. So I want to give that.
Yeah, I was trying to transition you into that, but you went directly to the solution.
Yeah, I
forgot. First.
YouTube is dead. It's not dying. It's not on the way out. It is dead. And what I mean by this is that it is dead as a medium for new creative vision. You can still make a successful YouTube channel right now, and you can maintain one, but you cannot do it doing anything new. And for the most part, the people who were doing interesting things on it have stopped. Like, people who were reinventing it, who are doing like really fun new shit, have either reached the point where they don't care about YouTube anymore and have moved on to something else, or they've realized they cannot make enough profit doing the interesting shit that they care about, or they just don't care.
Would you say Hypocrite is the official?
Hypocrite leaving YouTube is a definite death knell on it. That like
we can like look at the upload time of that video as the official time of death.
If I was going to pronounce it as a doctor, that would be my. I mean, it was dead before that, but like we can you know
we can pull a life support now.
We can pull a Christmas on it, you know, and say that that's the day it died. YouTube is dead. I think most people know it. I think if you say that to most of the people who watch YouTube, they will agree.
I hate this guy.
And I think
taking way too long to kill.
My theory is that YouTube is okay with that as a company, because what YouTube has become...
Oh my fucking god, really? I gotta redo that whole section because this is one faggot?
I don't remember if I gave this speech. I think I might have just gave the speech to May. I don't remember if I gave this... Do you remember when I did the whole thing about the 100K? No, that was just to you, right? Alright, I'll give this speech I gave to May. So,
what? Fucking cunt.
So...
This game's getting a little faggy.
YouTube, when it debuted, the idea was like, anyone can upload anything, it doesn't matter. And when it became that you could make a profit off of it, it was like ads were worth a lot still. Like, and YouTube ads were worth a lot, and people could make a lot of money just by getting a lot of views. It was just a linear get views, get paid. And so people were incentivized to just do anything because no matter what you did, all that mattered was that enough people were going to click on it. When they changed the incentive structure to be watch time, it murdered that entirely and made it so it was about making videos that would consume people's time, right?
Sure.
But when they made that change, the biggest thing that they did was they oriented everything around the subscription. They tried to make it so your job was to try to get as many subscribers as possible because those are ostensibly return customers who will spend a lot of time watching your videos. So it's get as many subscribers as possible, keep them on your channel for as long as possible, and that is how you make profit. Well,
please God.
At the time, YouTube had... And they were never transparent about any of this, but if you studied it like I've been doing the whole time, then you'll see that there were patterns that were emerging along the way. So
what the fuck?
I guess he spawned early.
Alright, this is pretty bullshit.
Guy? Like, does he just have a super big shield or what? Like, what do
he
you
has
need
a
to do?
Big shield, and
is
he
there
has
like a rocket launcher around here or something?
No, you're just supposed to have some positioning available to get around it, but I don't.
Well, this is stress-inducing.
Yeah, and the fact that I only had one more guy to kill before, now I gotta redo this entire section, is really, I want to say gay. Gay, I think, is the word I'm looking for. Gay. Gay as fuck. Really gay. Homosexual, even.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, this blows my nutsack into oblivion. I keep forgetting there's a whole other section back here. Like, usually when you go through this door, it's just, like, the other side of the locked door. But they added this whole part, so I just fell right the fuck off. If
you figured out how to fix the sound, you'd be able to hear him.
Yeah, you're right. Still gay, but a little less gay.
So anyway... When YouTube made this big change to orienting everything towards subscribers, that's when my channel blew up. And it just so happened I started making content right when this happened, like early 2013.
Wow,
that was when me and Tom both grew our audience initially. And we were very much in the right place at the right time with the right type of content. Like, we got real fucking lucky.
Yeah.
But the way that things were from that period forward was that YouTube started caring about you once you hit 100,000 subscribers. Like, it was all very sub-based. Like, once you hit 10K, you were sort of, like, in the algorithm. Like, you had the potential for growth. But when you hit 100,000, YouTube really started promoting you. And, like... you would see this routinely. People would hit 100K, and then the next 30K would be, like, overnight compared to the rest of their build-up. Yep. You know? Happened to me, happened to Mumkey, happened to
everybody. Like, anyone who's got 100K has done that. It's because it's, like... They care. They legitimately, like, give you more attention. Like, you can talk to people in YouTube once you hit 100K.
Well, kind of. I mean, I think when you hit 1 million is when you are, like... because that's why we all called it the Million Sub Club. That, like, once you hit 1 million, it's like you are considered, like, a member.
A real YouTuber.
You know? Yeah, you're considered, like, a real YouTuber. And it's logical for it to be this way. Because, as I keep saying to May, Casey Neistat in 1 week will make more money for YouTube than my entire career. Like, if he's a daily vlogger pulling millions of views per video, like, in 7 days, he will outstrip my whole career. YouTube has no reason to pay attention to me when they can pay attention to him. And YouTube is not a gigantic company. They have a gigantic amount of power, but there's not a gigantic amount of people working there, and especially not talented people, and especially not people who are on a creative team, because it's a fucking website, you know? It's not... like, it's built for creative people, but it's not run by creative people, so they don't really understand how it works. They just understand what the algorithms tell them, you know?
I mean, that's Google's entire MO.
So they have really no reason to even acknowledge people until they hit that threshold where they're making enough money that they are important to you, to the platform. And I think that there was a period where they cared about people who, when you hit 100K, that time is also over.
Sure, there's
At
enough
this
people
point,
at 100K that it doesn't matter.
No, yeah, it's gotten to a point now where YouTube cares about their big people, and those big people are all living in an ARG. They are living in an ARG world.
It's not even that. That's part of the problem. But the other part of the problem is YouTube's become so big, like old media cares now, and so they're making way more money just like doing that.
I truly realized it when that guy's video, the like in the mind of Jake Paul or whatever one that who was that guy that you are all surprised I'd never heard of him.
I mean, I'd heard of him, but I never watched his videos. Fuck.
What was his name, Mark? The guy who made that Jake Paul video that I was so disgusted with. And you were like, how have you never heard of this guy? He's a famous guy. In any case, watching...
Shane Dawson, right?
Yes.
I keep getting him confused with Ray William Johnson for some reason.
God.
For some reason...
They're the same person in my mind, just like a faggot.
Watching that guy's video...
Is that banned on Twitter or Twitch as well?
I don't know. That? You're allowed to say it because you take cock. So you can say whatever you want.
I am part-time gay, so I guess I got a pass. Progressive stack for the win.
So the watching what little of that video I did made me realize that it's not so... I want to call it a reality TV show, but it's a decentralized reality TV show that all of the big YouTubers are a part of. And I would call it more of an ARG. And not everyone who's in it is in it intentionally. Like, H3 Productions is not doing it cynically. They just are in it. Because that is just what the world is. And I think that they don't seem to even appreciate how fake the rest of it is somehow. Like, they underestimate how fake it is. Maybe not anymore, because their podcast exposed a lot of this to me. Like, they would bring on these big YouTubers, and the impression you would always get is like, oh, I see. They all know what they're doing. Like, none of this is on accident. None of this is actually a bunch of dumb douchebags getting famous for no reason. It's people with corporations behind them manufacturing a thing, you know? And, like, it literally is, like, an alternate reality that they've created of the Million Sub Club YouTubers. And, like, for the very vast majority of YouTube's audience, that is YouTube, is this ARG of these big YouTubers. And that's why the drama content is so important, because it's the show. YouTube is one show now, for the most part, and it's because that show is so much more popular than the rest of YouTube that the rest of it almost doesn't need to exist. And that show occupies so much time, because if you're just following, like, you know, 10 of the biggest YouTubers, they're gonna put out enough content to fill your whole fucking day, you know, every single day. Right. So, like,
alright, how...
So I think YouTube really just... They've come to a point where they've realized that, like, that paying attention to all of us lowly people is not going to make them any money. Like, if they really want to continue to be profitable, and, like, but YouTube only needs that much profit because they are sitting on the biggest fucking cost in the world. Like, hosting the most content of anything. The amount of server space that they must have is fucking inconceivable, you know? And it's also that they can get data from you to serve you ads, but, like, the ads barely work, and every time someone says the N-word, then they fucking get the whole empire crashes around them, you know? So, like, it's just... Yeah, it's obvious why it's happening. It's not weird. It's not... I don't blame YouTube for this. Like, it's just the infrastructure they're built on. It is not profitable to care about us. And that's why it's dead. Because they have finally realized that they can't do anything for us, and they're just going to cut... They're going to cut the tail off and worry about the head, you know? And, like... Google itself is struggling a lot because of the regulations being placed on them by stuff like the EU, the fact that they're constantly, like, they have competition that can competently compete with them, and, like, the more decentralized the internet becomes, the less incentive there will be for anybody to use these platforms. It's just a matter of making the everyday consumer, and I don't even mean the normie consumer, but the everyday, like, person who cares about content to realize that they can get it somewhere else. That there just needs to be a consumer side incentive as opposed to merely a creator side incentive. You know.
I'm dead as fuck.
So yeah, I think YouTube is dead because you cannot do anything new and creative there anymore. At best, you can use it to advertise the new creative things you're doing in other places. You know. How do you feel about all this, Tom?
I'm on board. Sooner YouTube dies, the better. What? That was a behind the back hit. You should be fucking dead, you fuck. This game's gay. 0 out of 10. Halo Combat Evolved. Worst. Anyways. I don't know. I'm excited for the future. I think the future holds some good shit. And, yeah. I'm way more hype about that than anything else. Why? Okay, thank you. Good. You died for real that time. Like you should have last time, because I did nothing different. Oh, the bullets to the face. Oh, the game's good again. 10 out of 10. My opinions on games do change that quickly. That was not like a fake thing. It literally went from a 0 to a 10 just because it didn't fuck up. I'm a great games critic, guys. I'm give out my 10s liberally and my 0s just as liberally.
So, YouTube is messed up, Tom Oliver. Indeed, YouTube is messed up. Do you know that quote from yourself?
YouTube is messed up?
Yeah.
When did I say it?
You say it at the start of like a vlog, and I sampled it in one of my songs, and you say it like 700 times in the song. So
is it
the song "Gayer Than God"? Was
it the fucking BitChute one? Or no? Is it the video?
It would have been over a year ago.
It must have been the video when we did the part 3 together of.
Oh yeah, it probably was that because I probably said to pick the one that we were both in.
Right. Why would you ever watch a video that you weren't in?
Well, it was that we were we were looking for something to sample to loop through the early part of the song, me and Blind Skywatcher, and I was like, you know, like we need somebody whose voice will fit over this beat, and I was like, Tom's good, like, you know, he's an underground cool guy who I want to share, so like let's use one of his videos. I was like, well, why don't we use the one that I'm in, because then it's like, you know, there's some connection and logic here. Yeah.
Oh, why?
And it just so happened that the first line was YouTube is messed up, and we were like, perfect. So the song starts off, YouTube is messed up. YouTube is messed up. YouTube is messed up.
Sick. Finally have some street cred.
I'm bigger than your motherfucking life, son. Flows a little tight, hun. Let me loose you up.
Why is this guy taking so much fucking damage?
I'm not someone who's humdrum for a minute. I could stuff a whole umbrella up my asshole. Walk out onto the beach and shit a fun day hole.
And I'm the gay one?
Yeah.
Alright.
Autistic Biden asks, thoughts on Jesse's scary, spooky bullshit?
It's very daily content.
I don't know what it is.
Did you not know he's doing a video every day all month?
No.
Starting 4 days ago. He started up spooky, scary bullshit month, and he's just doing like 2 or 3 minute like rants about random spooky, scary
0
bullshit.
out of 10 again.
It'll just be like, I saw a horror movie and it was not that good. Here's my thoughts. There you go. And like that's the tone of it. He talks like that. Like, well, it's
does he need money that bad?
He really does. I mean, you know Jesse needs money that bad.
I don't know anything about his Patreon. I kind of just
his Patreon is fine. He just has the most overhead cost of living imaginable.
Which considering he's in a furnace room, blows my mind.
Yeah, well, I mean, that, you know, the basement room is... if I had to choose a room to live in that house, I'd probably pick the same one, dust and dankness aside. I mean, before it was ruined, I would have picked that one. Now it's a, like, disgusting fucking...
Jesse.
But,
someone save that man.
Yes.
No, but I have not watched it. I don't know why. I guess I haven't really watched a lot of YouTube in general the last couple weeks. I've just been game deving all the time. And watching videos on game dev. And, wanting to be a real boy. Even though I'm kind of pissed that I'm not doing anything animation related, because I want to do animations and stuff as well. There's too much shit to do, man. Not enough time.
Yeah. I'm just thinking how every time I read something that Spicy Salts types, I immediately regret having read it. Like, I feel like I need to look at the names of the people before I read their stuff, just so I don't read that stuff.
Yeah. Sorry, Spicy Salts, but
it's just constant obnoxious
Spicy
shit.
Salts left a comment on one of my game dev vlogs just saying, like, wow, your life sucks. I hope I'm not like you when I grow up. And I was like,
that's all he does.
Yeah, like that pretty much sums up. I'm just glad I haven't ended up like you, Spicy Sauce.
It's just constant, obnoxious, childish shit.
I mean, and when he says "when I grow up," it confirms that he is in fact 12.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah. I wish you better financial success than I have, Spicy Salts, but I hope you actually grow up.
Why? Why do you wish him more financial success than you?
Because
is that just something you would wish for everybody?
Right. Why would I don't have any ill will towards Spicy Salt. I just think he's an annoying cunt.
I have ill will towards everybody.
Yeah, I've noticed. It's only a matter of time before it gets turned on me.
No, you're fine. You're the cool. You're like my top 5 of like people.
That's fair.
Acceptable people.
What about me, Mark?
Mark is high up on the list.
I'm a high tier Mark food.
Mark food.
I like all these Marxisms coming out.
Steve says never stop roasting IM Games' weird V tier audience. I mean, it's mostly people who've been around. I mean, like, Spicy Salts is not new to IM Games.
No. Me and Spicy Salts, we go back.
He was the one who
asking your opinions on Zombieland Saga.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting I was gonna fucking. Chester Monocle says, "Own it, man. I've noticed the Legend of Dragoo guy, and I'm fucking proud of it." You have like. Nobody would call you that if not for the fact that you constantly bring up Legend of Dragoon. So, like, that's entirely your own doing, Chester. I mean, it's made me remember your name, so there is that. But yeah, like, Zombieland Saga. I watched the first episode, and it was really fucking funny. I liked it a lot. I related super hard to the guy. Okay, Zombieland Saga is basically an anime about the fact that anime is dead, and that it's
So is the zombie the anime industry?
Well, kind of, because the idea of the show is that the main character is this girl who dies in a car crash at the start, and she wakes up in this house with a bunch of zombie girls, and it turns out that there's this guy who's trying to be like. He's like a guy who's trying to be a manager of an all zombie idol group, and it's like all of the girls are they're like idols who were famous during some point in history, but like they all died and now they're zombies. So he's got all these zombie idols, and he wants to make like the ultimate idol group, but like at the end of the episode, they all awaken, and I'm kind of scared of what the show will become after that. But throughout the episode, other than the main girl, they are all just mindless zombies. Like, they are just zombies who he's, like, hyping up as, like, yeah, we're going to be the ultimate idol team. The girl's like, how? I don't understand your plan. And he's like, it just doesn't matter. Like, his mentality is, like, you're just going to go out there, do whatever feels natural, and it will work out. Because... It just will, and like it does.
It's a metaphor for the anime industry.
It is, because like they send the girls out on stage, and it happens to be that they're at a metal show, like because it's the only place that had an open mic. So they go out on stage, and like because of the fact that when the zombies like hear a certain noise, they'll just start doing this crazy headbanging. Like the guy just throws on like a metal backing track, and they all just start like, you know, screaming zombie screams and doing this crazy headbang, and the crowd is like crying because it's so legendary of a performance. And like it was perfect. I related very hard to the guy who was the manager, who's just like, look, just don't worry about it. Like, I've gathered the ultimate group of 7 retarded zombies, and we're going to be successful. Like,
sounds like the PCP.
Exactly. That's how I felt watching it. The guy kind of looks like Best Guy Ever, too. Like, not like Nate, but like Best Guy Ever as a concept. But yeah, it was great, and I loved because the zombie girls are all super fucking cute, and like it's really funny to think that even though they are literally just mindlessly wandering around biting things, they're still adorable and you still love them. Like, they don't even need a personality because...
The show works on its own premise.
Yeah, it does. It literally does. And I know it was made to be a meta show. It's Mappa, and like a lot of what they do is kind of like that. But yeah, I don't know if it'll hold up now that the other zombies have awakened, because at the end of the episode they all like wake up and it's like, oh well, I kind of liked the idea that it was just a bunch of fucking brainless zombies wandering around. I'm
okay.
afraid of it
Sometimes
trying to have like
just like a short
an emotional
film.
plot.
Like, that's how I feel about the first episode of Barakamon. The rest of the show's good, but that first episode, like...
Barakumon's great, though.
It is great, but that first episode is just like... Like, I've rewatched it so many times, because it's just like... It brings me out of creative ruts.
I remember liking the later episodes the most, because that's where the guy, like, learns and grows.
Well, even in the first episode, he learns and grows, and it kind of encapsulates the entire fucking journey in one episode.
It basically does, now that I think about it.
Like, that fucking final shot when it's, like, the big fun kanji. Like, if I ever got a tattoo, I get a tattoo of that, because, like, that hit me like a fucking freight train. And I fucking sobbed like a bitch.
Is that the anime where the cute anime girl gets hit by a truck? Yes, that's basically how it starts. She's like... Just some...
I thought you meant Barakamon. Like, I don't remember the little girl getting hit by a truck.
Saga. It's just like a cute anime girl, and she like leaves her house to go to school, and then just gets fucking demolished by a truck. It's pretty funny. And then like a heavy metal song starts playing as she falls to her death.
Oh my god.
I know that Nate despises Fairy Tail. What do you think of it? Is there anybody who doesn't despise Fairy Tail?
Jax.
He just likes the tits, doesn't he?
I mean, that seems to be like his modus operandi in general.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
There's, like,
pretty sure the only
geometry
reason
right now,
anybody
it's freaking me
cares
out.
about Fairy Tail at all is that the girls have big tits.
Where do I go? What do I do? See that? It's back veins. I guess this way? I feel like I'm going backwards, so all this geometry is reused. Alright, I'm going the right way now. Oh, I was so close to the stick. Oh.
Beep, 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 beep. Alright, well, I've run out of the things that I was planning to talk about.
It hurts my butthole!
Um,
Oh god, he's still on my dick! No, fuck you.
So to talk about some incentivization to go to the I Am Games Discord, we were talking about the possibility of doing like some kind of I Am Games jam at some point.
That was the thing that came up in the chat, yeah. And I think it's pretty cool idea.
It's a great idea. I think that I would really like it.
What happened?
I would really like for I Am Games to have like if we had some kind. I mean, obviously the whole thing I proposed earlier, my big revolutionary idea, would be the perfect way to do this. But since that's probably not likely actually going to happen, since we don't know anybody who can make it happen, and B would be probably at least a year off, even if we were actively working on it.
I think you're underestimating how long that'll take.
That's what I said, at least. I think that it would be cool if I Am Games had some kind of page for our, basically, Namkai Bando.
That is the correct way of saying it.
Namkai Bando is
or Namkai, for sure.
Yes, Namkai Bando is our new game publishing thing. It already has a Twitter because Tom thought it would be funny.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if the name was available, and it is. So
I think it would be great if I Am Games had Namkai Bando as our publisher, and we just published, basically I'm saying, if you make a game and you participate in the I Am Games Discord, then we will fucking publish your game on Namkai Bando.
Please understand, when we say publish, we mean
we will post
it.
a link to it on a website.
We do not have money.
No.
We cannot give you advertising.
You can post your game on itchy.io and give us a link to it, and we will put it on a web page called Namkai Bando or something, on a DAT browser web page. God,
I love Namkai Bando.
But it would still be, it would literally be a better in than just making a game and having no way to advertise it at all. And you can make a fucking meme, and we'll post it on this website. And then if there's like 100 of them, then it'd be like, yo, look at this. Look at this community effort.
Got some sillies. Wow, how do you survive that with no shit?
It makes us look cool, and it makes you able to have someone play your video game.
We have a bunch of developers in the chat already, so...
What is a game jam? A game jam is where you have to make a game in 48 hours. And, yeah, it's a popular thing. I don't know where they do these, because they're usually at, like, dev conventions,
There's,
right?
like, meetups and conventions, but they're also done remotely online. Like, Ludum Dare is, like, probably the biggest one, as far as I've been able to tell. But, yeah.
I am Gamescom when?
I don't know. When? Come to Boston. We're doing like a big jamboree, apparently, at the end of this month.
Can I get 100% commission? We will not charge anyone anything. We'll just put it on the site.
We won't take any of your money, but we won't give you any of your money.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to sell the game, we'll still link to it. Just, we're not going to do... We will do nothing to
It's basically just a way of,
it.
like, building the community. Like, we're so games, we're making them.
Exactly. I want everybody to know. And, of course, we will participate in these games jams. So it'll be like, here's everybody who did the stuff.
Yeah.
Here's ours. Here's everyone else's.
It'll be cool.
How do you write Namkai Bando? You almost did it right, except it should be a C.
It's just Bandai Namco, but flipped.
Yeah. Namkai Bando.
You can go to I made a very original Icon Do Not Steal logo for Namkai Bando. It's I keep saying it thinking that I'm saying the actual name because it sounds so right.
I know.
Alright, we're gonna go with
You feel like a Dorito?
I haven't.
Mark ate like a whole...
Have you ever had so many Doritos that you just like sweat Dorito dust?
I have.
It's disgusting.
I think Mark might be there right now.
I do that all the time. Or I did do that all the time. It's the old me. Fuck, what class do I want? I'm gonna go Grenadier. No, because the grenade sucks. They all suck. Fuck.
Exia says, I really work on a game with a friend of mine, but he's a super Minecraft tier casual game, and I want to make something twin stick shooter controlled. Can't get it off the ground because he is the 3D/2D guy, and I'm the programmer. Dude, get in the Discord, find guys who are I'm sure there's some 3D people who are looking for a guy to make a game with their 3D art, and vice versa. Like, I mean, if you're a programmer, you're the most sought-after people in the fucking world.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
everybody wants to do art design. Nobody wants to fucking program. So, like, yeah, I'm sure that you can find somebody to work with.
DMR. I want to take pot shots at them, but they just disappeared. Did you see that shit? That was lazy. That was a lazy transition.
All of my friends are becoming normies. What do I do?
Get new friends.
Yeah, I mean, all my friends became normies, insofar as a normie is a person who plays Street Fighter all the time, so...
I don't know if it's normie, but
just,
it's like normie adjacent.
Yeah. I mean, it was a bunch of people who used to be different from that.
It's like, oh, when that happens, I'm like, oh, you're right. You're supposed to grow up. Hilarious.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Apparently growing up means playing Street Fighter.
I mean, like, they probably just play Street Fighter when they come home from their real jobs
right, exactly.
and, like, have no further
some
ambition.
Of them. But, yeah.
I consider that growing up.
Yeah.
Holding
well,
on.
I guess this is growing up. Hadouken, 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 Shoryuken. It'll happen once again. You'll start playing Ken.
Can you beat me in a rap battle? Sure you can.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you did it. You made a run. Did we just make a Starbomb reference?
We did.
We both have to cut our fucking wrists now.
Hey, Aaron's part of Starbomb. It's okay.
Starbomb sucks.
Yeah. A little bit. Has its moments. That was one of the moments.
Can you give us a detailed list of the tiers of normie and autist?
I don't think we have a tier list like ready to go.
I mean, I guess the most normie you can be is watches cable television. We're gonna keep this strictly to millennials. The most normie you can be is watch cable television, reality TV shows. Hang out with people who you went to high school with.
Use Facebook more than any other website.
Use Facebook as your primary means of interacting with the internet. That's basically it. That's all that's in a normie's life, really, is TV and social interaction, I think. And like
really gets excited
shopping.
for the weekend.
If you are like really hyped to go to Olive Garden, or like what was the other one that Red Lobster, like if those are like exciting excursions for you, like that's a fancy dinner.
You might be a normie.
Or the fucking Cheesecake Factory if you're a loaded normie. Yeah. So then I guess the next tier above that, the slightly less normie would be Netflix and chill. Maybe has a Twitter. Like
really into Halloween.
Way into Halloween. Like has a couple of really weird things that you're way too into, like a couple of things that aren't super popular, but you're like, that's my jam.
But they're still socially acceptable.
Way into Game of Thrones.
I was nowhere near that creative.
Yeah, Game of Thrones is good.
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Twilight.
If you grew up on, I mean, it's not fair to throw in Twilight because you might grow up to not be a normie. Like you're not, just because you were a normie when you're 12 doesn't mean you're a normie forever.
No, we're not we're talking about like slightly not normie though.
Right.
Like if reading a book is not normie, like.
Yeah, you're right. All right. So the next.
Being sexually aroused by a book character is not normie.
The next.
Mark, are you speaking from personal experience right now?
Yeah.
So the next step up from slightly not normie is like a little. This is where you get into like
a little bit Aspen.
Gamer, just like person who plays more video games than consumes other forms of media, or more YouTube than other forms of media. Maybe has cut the cable.
Yeah.
Probably cutting the cable level. Doesn't know how to build a computer, but can kind of follow a conversation about it.
No, not again. Oh, fuck!
Maybe.
Oh, you fucking
maybe
whore.
has made a YouTube video or two, but
Twitch streams, but doesn't have
Twitch streams, but has nobody who watches their Twitch stream. Yeah, yeah, that's about the level we're at there. So then we start getting into like real not normie is like trying to be an artist, like con-goer, trying to establish an artistic career, like into a number of weird things, follows internet personalities intently, like. I mean, if you're in this live stream right now, you fall into this category at least, probably.
Yeah.
I doubt you're more normie than this category if you're in the I Am Games live stream. So this is probably where most of you fall in. So just look at yourself in a mirror. You'll get this guy. And then, like, the next step from there, this is where it kind of diverges because... As you
once you get this like autistic, you got to pick a class.
Exactly.
You got to spec into something.
Lines.
Yes. So the spec lines are like, if you spec into like being a like I'm going to know everything happening on the internet, you will become a shitty commenter.
This is the bad end.
If you spec into like Thomas the Tank Engine, you're gonna be like the far gone internet autist artist who makes like the weirdest shit that Ben's gonna make a video about, like a lecture about. if you are lucky and your skills are highly marketable, you'll just become one of us.
I wouldn't say I'm
well, you'll become me. You probably have a lot of like highly specific knowledge in certain fields.
Right. If you're really skilled / knowledgeable on something that people actually care, like if you're an artist that's good enough and you also have the temperament to take commissions, you're golden.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that even on that previous tier, if if whatever you happen to be into is like like something that you could draw and sell commissions of it, you could be successful without going any more off the deep end than that, you know, like
yeah, you're already good.
Yeah, you're good. But like yeah, and then even farther than like us would be like people who have found a way to like okay, the farther step from us is where you don't even care about profitability. You're just doing it for the like. You would be willing to work a day job just so that you can like make Halo mods. The people who made this,
you're so like, focused on your tism that the day job fades away into nothing.
Exactly, and that's like I would say whoever made SPV3, you know, like if you're making free games and mods just for the sake of itself with no expectation of profit, then you are like the elder god tier, and that's why those are the people who are respected the most online. Like people like me, like I don't get mad that like somewhere like, you know, so, let's say 4chan doesn't like me.
Just happened
because I don't think I deserve to be considered truly great because I don't work anonymously and I expect profit, you know. And like there are people who are willing. There are people who are willing to just like, you know, to just suck it up and be do a shit job and live a normal ass life as long as they can go home and dev all day long or draw. Like, you know, I think of someone like did you ever meet Sharpie Boss back in the Pony days?
Sharpie Boss. Their name sounds familiar.
He was a pony artist who was really fucking good, and he probably drew art of each of us, but
I'm
like
sure. Who didn't back in the day?
Sharpie Boss was a guy who like I always brought him up because of his insane progression as an artist, because like he had everything up on his DA and you could literally see where in 2 years he went from like having no idea what he was doing whatsoever to amazing. And it was because
I've always hated people like that.
But the reason is that he would literally come home from work and just draw for 8 hours every day.
Yeah, that's
like
how you do
that's it. He just worked a regular job and then came
temperament.
home and just did nothing but draw, and listen to videos. And that's why he liked my shit, because he would just listen to my shit while he draws, you know, which is what a lot of art like. A lot of the stuff that I do.
Come on, you fucking cunt!
A lot of videos like these I Am Game streams.
I need the sound.
Like
I keep
I
dying.
consider that to be a part of the appeal, is because we have like a big audience of like that kind of artists, like people who either draw or do dev or shit like that while they listen to stuff like this, you know. And that's why I like doing this kind of content, because I like giving those kind of people something to listen to, because I want to see the shit that they're gonna make while they listen to it, you know. But
then we can take 10% of the profit because we've helped facilitate it.
And then but yeah, Sharpie Boss was like an example of somebody who I'm talking about, where it's like he wasn't doing it with the expectation that he was going to become an artist who would sell his work. It was just like it was a thing he wanted to do, and that's all he did, you know.
Props, respect.
Yeah, and that's
for sure.
It's the kind of person I wish I could be, but I just can't do the day job.
I feel like I
can't do it.
I'm like on the border. Except I just replace like day job with like being homeless.
I think that I've been weirdly like trying to scratch both itches while scratching neither my whole career, where like I've been trying to make it so I never had to sell out too much, but as a result I never made as much money as I could have, and I also like was too afraid to spend too much time doing the off-brand shit, so all of it is just like podcasts and let's plays that like I know nobody, like, you know, they get like a couple thousand views maybe, and it has no real profit for me, but like I'm way more into doing those than I am into doing my real content, you know, just because it's something I'm doing for fun and because I want to, and like if I can justify it to myself at all, then I'll do it 100 times before I get the next main channel video done, you know? But yeah, I would definitely say you and I are on, like, the borderline between those fringe extremes. But people who make, like, games like this, that's, like, the real fucking heroes.
Yeah.
The fucking dude... I told you about how a guy made a video about how, like, the Majora's Mask remake was not good, like the 3DS remake. Mm-hmm. That guy just, like, I don't know if he did this by himself or what, because it seems unreasonably fast, but he just went and made his own HD texture pack for the game. Like, he put out a video today advertising it. He's like, yeah, I made, like, an HD version of the N64 game. I just went in and edited the textures.
Oh, shit!
Tried to, like, tried to keep them as true to the original as possible, and, like occasionally borrowed some, like, elements from the remake, like, where it seemed appropriate. But, you know, overall the goal was to make, like, the most faithful possible HD remaster of the N64 game. And I'm like, this guy just low-key did Nintendo's job for them. Like, just did a thing that they could have done, and he did it by himself in seemingly a couple of months on his off time. I'm just like, yeah.
I mean, I feel like the internet's done a really good job of just exposing corporate bloat.
Oh my god.
You know?
Oh, dude, I could go... I went on a rant about that the other day with May as well, that I was talking about...
Like, nothing should be as expensive as it is. It's all bullshit.
The sheer amount of money that is just going to fucking nothing in this world is astounding. Like, I would say far more money is going to nothing than is going to something.
I don't even disagree.
Like, way more. And
I mean, it's a fucking cringy movie, but the original Zeitgeist movie, the guy's like, I thought the whole point of an economy was to, you know, economize, and then just goes on to rip the economy to shreds. I'm like, yeah, fucking good shit.
We were
good point.
What got me...
Are you kidding me? He was chasing me that whole time?
Wow.
What a fucking...
What a legend. I can't...
That's one word for it!
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
I hate this game. It is the worst. Everyone should be dead. Especially that fucking faggot.
Whoa. Now I'm interested in watching episode 2 of Zombieland Saga. This guy said, Unstable Hedonist, said, what you said about Zombieland Saga is pretty interesting. The second episode goes hip-hop instead of metal, and what you said gives a very different context to the main character's weird inspirational rap diss to the other girls about needing to try and be something instead of just staying The Walking Dead. Yeah, it's literally... Yeah, the show is calling out the anime industry. And it's based on, like, a mobile game, too. It's, like, a mobile game tie-in show. So, like,
they're just, like, the most, like, shillest possible thing. It's like, let's turn it around.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. I'm about that.
Yeah, I'm a fan of those.
Give that guy $1 on Patreon.
I would, too. So...
Corporate bloat. The economy.
Yeah, right. What got me thinking about it was we were at the mall the other day, and we were in the food court.
No! Was like, no! Oh my fucking god!
Do you not know the guy's gonna be there?
He spawns in a different place every time.
Oh, that's weird.
Sometimes he's right there, because sometimes he's just been on the bridge. He's always... And, like, what was I gonna do? What was I gonna do? He literally jumped right off the side and was like, hey, bitch!
Is it not possible for you to just, like, run through this?
I did! He chased me to the next checkpoint. I didn't get the checkpoint, remember?
Yeah, I remember.
This game is for faggots. That's why I'm playing it.
Gay boys. Anyway, we were at the fucking mall.
I am gay.
And there was this whole, like, science center setup thing where, like, in the middle of the food court, they had set up, like, this little play place area where they had, like, these science-themed, like, you know, like, there's, like, a big DNA strand that your kids could climb on kind of thing. And then, like, next to that...
I have a story about that after this.
And next to that was, like, a couple of, like, little standees, like, those little stand-up walls that are just, you know, could just be set up somewhere. And, Oh, Jesus Christ, he's so fucking fast.
You see what I mean by just popping out of nowhere?
Well, we saw the door open. We knew he was coming. I mean, you even threw a grenade in anticipation.
But, like, how did the door open, then all of a sudden, I'm halfway across the bridge. I'm coming to fuck your shit up.
Yeah.
God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God.
He's an ass dick.
Oh fuck! There's no way.
You got it. Yeah. Punish. Yes. Fuck
Yo.
you. Yeah. That's get over his face, dude.
Doing it OG style.
Anyway,
That was a doomer move right there.
that was a total doomer move, dude. Anyway. So there's this little like play set up, all these ready-made walls, and they've got like some like children's art up and shit, and there's like a booth and all this crap, and I'm just like, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, how much money went into building this little area and hiring the people to manage this for the sake of like the like 2 little kids who are playing on this thing that wasn't even here before. Like, what is this for? I just legitimately didn't understand, like, what was the incentive to create this? What did they think this would inspire? Who do they think would care? Like, why did this exist when it clearly had to have cost, at minimum, hundreds of dollars, more likely thousands of dollars, you know, to build these big pieces of plastic? I mean, maybe there's something that gets shipped around all over the place. Maybe it was, you know, like a traveling thing.
Oh, no.
Maybe they somehow make, like, maybe they make a lot of money off of the mall, but what the hell money is the mall making off of this? Like, what is this doing for anyone?
Make it soccer moms feel good.
I didn't understand it because nobody seemed to give a fuck at all. Like, it's just there, and it's just set up for, assumably, a little while, and then it'll be gone, and I was like, what if that money that went into this was redistributed into my favorite internet artists? How much better would that be?
You're asking the important questions.
And it was just like, this is the kind of shit that I don't think is going to exist in a generation, because millennials would never build this. And Zoomers certainly wouldn't build this. So hopefully this is not going to happen.
It does seem like
again.
it's on the decline. All right, I need
Yeah.
the hand cannon, clearly.
So, yeah, it was just a fucking weird... It was a weird feeling, but, like, there's so much shit like that. I mean, if you look at just the entire structure of both the 2 worst industries in terms of bloat are the entertainment industry, which is just utterly out of control, and the college industry, which is also utterly out of control.
Don't, please. I have a vested interest in that. Don't get me started.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
I will never, ever, ever have money
No.
in my life. And I knew it, and I did it anyway because I believed my parents like a fool.
Alright, so Keyblade gave names to our official Spurg tier list.
Okay.
You've got the Normie,
Right.
then the Randy, which I like.
Yeah.
Then Gamer, Artist, Autist, which is broken into the categories Shitty Commenter, Far Gone Weirdo, and Patreon Haver. And then Best Guy Ever at the top.
Yeah.
So there you go. I think Majora's Mask Texture Pack guy is only halfway done and is releasing it for feedback to improve the final product. Even still, the amount of shit he had done on the video. Said it's going to take another year to be finished. Alright.
Jesus. Oh, fuck. Oh, cocks. Oh, balls.
Did Digibro eat his daily amount of chicken cordon bleu today? No. I had chicken cordon bleu 2 nights ago, and then I had left like half of one because it was the potato ones which I don't like as much.
I don't want this. I don't want this.
On the counter, and then I saw it when I was like sick and drunk and fucking dying last night. It almost made me throw up, and then I did throw up.
I was gonna throw that out, but I was like, if Ben comes over, he might as well have something prepared for him.
Rank all the chicken cordon bleus.
Huh?
Rank all the chicken cordon bleus.
Rank all of them? I don't think I can name all of them.
Okay, the bottom one is the lobster one.
Yeah, the lobster one's bad.
The
Wait, a
asparagus
lobster
one is bad
chicken
too.
cordon
Okay,
bleu? Or is it
so
a lobster cordon bleu?
I don't know if this is new or if it's just because it's Boston because I haven't lived here.
How are you not?
But like, there's a lot of variety of like those frozen chicken cordon bleus here. Like,
I think I assumed May was making those, and they weren't frozen.
no, those are just frozen chicken. The chicken cordon bleu is not an easy thing to just prepare.
Well, May's
as far
impressed
as I
me
know.
with her culinary
She
skills.
is a great cook, but the chicken cordon bleus,
everything
like,
sucks.
they've been a staple of my life. We used to eat a lot of them back, when I was growing up. It was always my favorite dinner. But like, as far as I knew, there was just chicken cordon bleu, and then sometimes I would find a Kiev one, and occasionally a broccoli and cheddar one. And here we found like 6 other varieties, of which the creme brie and apple one, I didn't used to like it back when we were cooking it in the oven, but now that we have the toaster oven, which cooks them all way better, the creme brie and apple is like my favorite now. I might even like it more than just regular chicken cordon bleu. It's like tied. The Kiev isn't very good, because while chicken Kiev is great if you get it from a restaurant, it doesn't really work well with the format of the frozen chicken cordon bleu. I don't really care for the potato one. The lobster one I remember being garbage. There was one with asparagus that wasn't very good. So, like, broccoli and cheddar is really good too, or broccoli cheese, whatever. I don't remember what cheese is in there. So, like, if I had to say the ones that are like the most worth sticking to are like the regular ones, the broccoli and cheese, and the creme brie and apple. Like, that's like the holy trinity at the top, unless there's any I'm forgetting. Can you think of any others?
No.
Yeah. Lethargic Logic says programming is the easiest part of game design. Just putting that out there. If you know how to program, maybe, but like that is the hardest skill to pick up.
I mean, it depends on how your mindset works, you know.
Right. I mean, that's why there's teams. That's why dev happens in a team.
Building assets is the fun part for me.
Right.
And like I'm using construct because like it takes the programming and makes it like approachable.
So I think that, like, for me, the idea of building assets is absolutely terrifying, and the idea of programming is prohibitively confusing. However, I like doing layout. I really like the idea of, like, creating a world and, like, just knowing, like, I'm obsessed with spatial relationships, so I just want to, like, the main thing I want to do is to build a place, figure out what you do in that place, how everything relates to each other, what is the pacing of how you explore this story, and then, like, all the other shit I would worry about after that, you know? So it's almost like, to me, the first thing I would want to know is, like, what is the engine I'm using? What are the limitations of that engine? What is the most compelling way to convey the narrative I want to within that engine? And then to design that, and then think about art assets and, like...
It seems like the right way to go about it, just in general.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's kind of my approach to most things. It's like that sort of, you know... Just, with everything in life, do the hardest parts first. Or the part that is the most baseline. Like, when I rearranged the whole house, I didn't even take anything off of, like, the shelves or furniture. I just throw everything on the floor, move all the big pieces of furniture, and then put everything back up. Because, like, figuring out where everything is going to go and how it's going to fit is the most important part. You don't want to spend all day taking everything off of a bookshelf, moving it across the room, putting it all back on the bookshelf, and then realize that the bookshelf should have been in a different place, you know? Like, you gotta make sure that all the groundwork is done first. And, yeah.
Ohio gozaimasu.
Lethargic Logic says, plus it is my job to program, so there's that.
Oh, well, I mean... I'm jealous. I want to learn Python really bad. I just don't have the time right now. I was gonna say, like, I'll start doing Python stuff every Monday, but I just want to get this game out. I have, like, less than a month.
Yo, Digi, I was born in 2001. Am I a Zoomer? Yes.
Absolutely.
That was Spicy Salts, incidentally.
Oh.
So, he's, like, 17.
No. Mentally 12, physically 17. God, this is hurting my butthole. Yeah, this is fine.
That's crazy.
Bobby Joe Brown, I could not agree more. I get annoyed at gaming companies that claim they need to put BS in their games to make a profit, but put way too much money into their products. Dude, Square fucking Enix.
God.
Square Enix was reporting, I'm sure you've all heard the story. I heard it from Jimquisition. This was years ago. But, like, they had reported losses on Tomb Raider. I don't know if it was losses, but that they had underperformed. Tomb Raider, Hitman, Absolution, and Sleeping Dogs. But all of them had sold millions. Like, Tomb Raider had sold like 7 million copies, and they said it like underperformed. And it's like, what were you doing? Like, why would you ever put so much money into a game that 7 million copies is underperforming? No game, like maybe 10 games sell that much in half a decade.
It's
right?
funny. It's funny because like I was watching a video today about this guy who's like giving advice to indies, and the first thing he says is like, the first thing you got to do is you got to realize how many copies do I need to sell to make a profit and build around that. And I'm like, AAA people don't do this.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's funny because in this is a huge problem, not just for indie developers, but independent people in any market, that they put the money in thinking like, oh, if I put the money in, it'll make the product bigger. And it's like, no, advertising makes your product bigger. Putting things in your product doesn't make it bigger. Advertising it makes it bigger. The number
one best use of your money is marketing.
You cannot forget that there are countless examples of things that have way less effort put into them turning out the same numbers. If you're getting 7 million fucking purchases and you are losing money, you've fucked up somewhere. And in Tomb Raider's case, it's obvious. They put in way too many set pieces. They did the stupid Lara Croft's hair shit where it was like you couldn't even activate this unless you had like the most modern fucking processor imaginable. Yeah. What the fuck were they thinking? Like, why did they think that they needed that? If it's just ludicrous. But I mean, I'm sure with Tomb Raider they've probably turned it into a profit by making a new one every 2 years on the same assets.
Them bitching about Tomb Raider is probably why Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the second one, was a Microsoft Times exclusive, because they got extra money to cover their bases with it instead of learning their lesson and pulled out the scope a bit.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Shadow of the Tomb Raider was like a 6-month Times exclusive on Xbox.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the second one.
Wait, what do you mean by
a timed exclusive?
So that means it's exclusive for a while. And
yeah,
then...
it was exclusive for 6 months.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember that happening.
I can't imagine someone being so retarded that, like, I can't wait a few months for this game. I guess I'll go buy a whole new piece of hardware to play it.
Well, you know, we were just saying, the bloat is ludicrous.
Yeah.
The expectations are ludicrous. It just feels... What's the weirdest part about it to me is I don't understand how these companies can possibly exist and not get this. It's like, how do you get to be a gigantic company and make decisions that uninformed people on the internet can tell you are bad ideas?
I would assume the problem is that, like, I think technology just advanced so quickly that they're in a position now where consumer expectation is set, and like, what are they gonna do? You can't just be like, well, guys, we're just not gonna make graphics better anymore, you know, or we're gonna make graphics worse. Like, it just won't work. Like, you have they've made video games such a normie thing now that the bulk of their audience would not accept such a concession. You know, if this was back in like the early 2000s or the mid 90s, and they were like, yeah, we need to like reset expectation a bit before it became such a normieized thing, you could probably get away with that. Like, if we made the transition from like PS1 to PS2 and we had stuck with like stylized graphics and like kept things really simple and didn't push towards photorealism and stuff, and
I mean, I think in the case of like Tomb Raider, it went beyond just the photorealism of the graphics. It was like,
right, they went like, we're going to make this a Hollywood interactable movie and have all this insane production value.
And it's like, nobody was asking for it. Right. Who did they think?
Well, dude, even right now, like, NVIDIA's new graphics cards are called like the RTX 2080. And like, the big feature is that real-time ray tracing for better shadows. And it's like, who gives a fuck?
Right.
But like,
no one will notice.
The new cards are twice as expensive as the old ones because real-time ray tracing is insane, and the tech for real-time ray tracing is not built into any games, and it won't be good for another like 5 years. So it's like you're gonna, by the time ray tracing is even a thing, your card's outdated. And it's like, nobody cares about this, just make the tech that we use now better. But like, they're over here like sucking their own dick, like we have real-time ray tracing. And they have like the demos and it's like, look at how much better the shadows are, they move dynamically. I'm like, I don't even notice. Like, it's such a minimal, it's like, these people are so into the tech now that like anybody who isn't like an engineer is not going to be impressed by the gains at this point. Like, the shadows move dynamically with a light source, I don't give a fuck.
Fucking, like...
I'm simplifying, but I'm sure someone in the comments is
like
going to be like, what are you talking about?
In the Jimquisition video I was talking about, he pointed out how, like, Dark Souls had sold 2 million copies, and it was, like, a ludicrous success. Like, it was, like... They made that game with the expectation that it was going to sell, like, a couple 100,000, and, like... That was what they were. That was what they.
Just make every game like that.
Exactly. Just always make your game with the expectation.
It's so dumb.
Because no one is asking for more than that.
Right.
No one.
Like, there's so many examples of just like not blowing your load and like getting away with it.
Because the average consumer can't tell the difference between. I mean, up until our generation, they couldn't tell HD from SD fucking TVs. They just bought HD TVs as status symbols. Yeah. You know.
It's sad. Look at all this shit. I really should have brought that Warthog with me.
Lethargic Logic asked, Tom, why did you stop using the Godot engine? It was the best engine I used when I made games.
I love the Godot engine a lot. The problem is that all the resources for it assume you know Python, and I do not know Python. So the engine's still really new, so a lot of the documentation is not new user friendly. It assumes you have programming knowledge, which I do not. And GDScript is basically a fork of Python, so it's all the documentation for it is like, just do Python except this. And I'm like, well, I don't know Python. So in order to make a game, I would first have to learn all of Python and then adapt it to GDScript, which I want to ship something. That was my whole point of starting the Izumi project in general, is that I said I'm tired of not having things that people can actually enjoy and experience. So I figured, fuck it, I'll just learn Python in the background while using Construct because it's simpler and I can make a game in like a month.
Keyblade Spirit says, but Tom, how do I market? Is there a podcast I can listen to help me figure it out?
Yeah, the Market How Do podcast, even though me and Matt were talking about restructuring it a little bit.
I mean, it seems like you have not really done much to market the Market How Do podcast.
Yeah, that was our big thing, is that like we're both like so balls deep in so many other things that like it's just becoming like a burden, which is a shame because we like the podcast a lot. It's just like he works a real job, he does tons of commissions, and I'm like game deving and 3Ding and doing IM games all the time. It's like we don't even have time to like get in a call and be like, so what's the next podcast going to be?
Right.
So it's just
Exia relevant. Exia says, did you finish Crosscode yet? I just beat the shock/wave combo dungeon. For the same reasons Tom was just describing, I still haven't. I'm on that dungeon. I have not beat it. I am on it.
We still haven't even edited the Mega Man video.
No, I still have not.
That is partially my fault because my reading of the script was abysmal.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even that it was abysmal. There was just like a lot of weird slant words in it where it felt like what I need to have you do is to just like read each sentence before you then read it out loud. Like, just read it to yourself and
what I should do is you should just give me the script and I should read it over like in my head a couple times.
Yeah,
so
that's what going to be there. That's what I mean. Because like what we've been doing is just that I read it out loud to Tom and then he reads it, and then like there's usually like one or two lines where you sound like you don't completely understand what you're reading, but usually you'll go back and fix it. But like in this case, it was like there was enough where it just kind of you brute forced through the sentence because it didn't. Like, I guess you just didn't process that you had said it weird, you know.
It was it's a long ass script compared to our other IM games.
Yeah, it came out after I edited my version to like just over 10 minutes long.
Damn.
And yeah, so I was starting to edit Tom's audio, and then I was like, I'm just gonna. Well, and also what I realized about it is that I think the reason it came out that way is that I wrote it more in my voice than yours. Because usually I watch you play the game, and then I kind of just try to replicate the things that you were saying about it or that you seem to feel about it in my script.
But like immediately on Mega Man 11, like day one, you're like, I know exactly what this video is going to be.
Right, and also that I had played it myself. Like, most of what I wrote was more based on the 3 hours I spent playing it alone than it was based on... Like, you know, watching you play, I picked up on a lot of this stuff, but like, in the script, I say I did this, and I'm talking about me. You know, I'm sharing my feelings on the game. And so, like, I think that just because of the fact that I was writing it out of, like, my own legitimate feelings, I wrote it more in my own voice. And, you know, it's just like... And initially I had wanted you to read it because when I tried to read it to myself, I just felt like very dour because it was like, you know, it's kind of a negative video. But when I came back to it, I was like, I'll just read it with lots of pep and energy, and it came out really good. But I have not, the only reason it hasn't been edited is that I have to actually record footage of the game because, like, there's
a lot of specifics.
Yeah, there's a lot of specifics, and it would be easier for me to just sit down with the script next to me and just do all the things I say in the script, you know, like in order, and just make that the video. Anywho, I would prefer a game that runs at 60 FPS stable and looks okay than some crazy GPU intensive fire hazard because it runs my GPU so hot attempting to run it. Agreed. I think most hardcore gamers feel that way.
I mean, it's even more of the case now because, like, the hardcore gamers are running at 144 hertz monitors, so they don't want 60; they want 144 frames per second now.
I really think that
I can't even imagine.
I think that the problem here is that like a lot of the hardcore players just want the 60 frames and they want gameplay. They like want mechanics, and then the casuals want the graphics, but they don't know the difference. They know it when they say it, when people come out and brag about the technicality, and that's good for marketing purposes, but, like, you don't have to prove it. Like, the game developers need to realize, and I mean, Ubisoft are probably the biggest geniuses about this, that, like, the Assassin's Creed games, to normies, probably look unfucking believable. But, like, when you look at them, they're not top of the line, you know? Like, they're not the best looking games. They look good enough to look super HD and modern.
80/20,
you know?
baby. Let's
and
dance, bitch. I got your gun.
And as long as you can reuse as many design elements over and over again and make, like, you know, yearly or bi-yearly releases, then, like, eventually you might make good on it by franchising the game, you know. But
feels good to kill the hunters with their own gun.
I wish more companies would be like Sega, just give resources to talented people and let them make shit. Indeed.
Yeah, Sega still kicking ass. I'd love another Sega console though, not gonna lie.
Digi and Tom, keep an eye on AMD. They are currently looking up to the task.
For what?
I don't know. I'm like...
Is AMD publishing games now?
I don't think so. This was like from a while back.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm the biggest AMD fanboy of all time, despite owning none of their products. I was a big AMD guy. May's gonna be the AMD guy.
Oh yeah.
Which I'm kind of jealous of.
Me and Mark.
I thought May was making the videos. I thought Mark was just watching us play.
Oh shit.
Tom, I just used GD script the whole time when I made my games, but I understand you should learn Python. Python's pretty easy to learn in comparison to other languages.
Yeah, I mean, it's also, like, the most popular. So, like, if I learned Python, I could actually, like, make things other than games. And another good thing is that all of Blender's extensions are in Python. So I could actually, like, make extensions for Blender if I wanted to. I mean, I never will, but... it's just another good thing. Another engine I want to check out is the Armory engine, because it's built on top of Blender. So it's just like, oh, I already know how to use Blender, so, like, half the battle right there. That seems interesting. And a lot of people are hype about that, so considering giving that a shot. I've never tried it before,
Yo,
though.
that chili smells so good.
Oh, did you watch the new Matthew Matosas video?
The one on WarioWare?
Yeah.
I have not watched it yet.
It's not on WarioWare. It's called Mega Micro Videos, and the idea is that he takes a WarioWare approach to covering a whole bunch of different games, like in
that's
rapid fire.
fucking sick.
And dude, it's super clever. Like there's lots of little, there's like a sort of subtle narrative behind it.
So you're supposed to have a tank at this point, and it never spawned me the tank. So I'm
really
just doing this
fucking
whole
good.
on foot.
I think you'll love it. There's one part where he dedicates like 4 minutes to just like why Raziel from Soul Reaver is such a great character design.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Raziel's design. Him and Hatsumar are like my boys. They're fucking sick.
You'll appreciate that a
Oh,
lot. for
God.
sure.
I really want to play Soul Reaver now. Become my Soul Reaver, my merchant of death. God, the fucking game is dope as shit. Dude, Soul Reaver has like some of the best music. It's like so fucking atmospheric. Like they use like horse neighing in like the opening like level as like part of the music, and it sounds amazing. I fucking love that game.
Dude, we got to do those games. Nobody fucking talks about them. Like, and everybody loves them.
I haven't played any of the Blood Omen parts because I just liked Raziel. So like Kane was gay and I didn't like him. I was on Team Raziel for the win, but I play all of them for IM games.
I definitely like. Okay,
Much rather play this. Oh god, I'm
here's
out of
my
bullets.
current like short list of games that like I definitely think are like these are the games IM Games should cover. We definitely should still do Time Splitters, and like probably like a rundown of that whole studio. Fucking Soul Reaver. What was the PS2 game that we looked at that I was saying we should totally do?
Shit, we were just talking about this like 3 hours ago.
Was that today?
I thought that was today. Wasn't it today?
I thought that was yesterday.
Oh god,
Maybe
I don't
it was
know
today.
anymore.
I have no fucking clue.
This shows how clear we have our shit together.
Dude, what even doth time?
Agreed.
Like, basically, I want us to cover lots of games that are like cult. Oh, Metal Arms Glitch in the System.
Yes.
That was the one I super want to do.
Well, I mean that's an Xbox game as well, so that's why I was.
Yeah, well, it was on all of them. It was
And
on
then we
GameCube.
already ordered Bujin Guy.
Yeah.
Which looks fucking dope.
But like, I really want to play games that like everyone kind of remembers, but no one's really talked about, and like that might still be worth returning. I
feel like that's a niche we can corner.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of games that like that hold up really well. And just didn't get franchises, and so like people have kind of forgotten about it. I guess this dovetails into the series that I had wanted to do, and maybe I could still do this for IM Games now that I think about it. I wanted to make a show called Wyatt No Franchise, where I talk about like games that like that were a franchise but then it died, like Rampage or Gauntlet. Like, Gauntlet had a game semi-recently, but just like... like 4 or 5 years ago, they made a fucking one that literally just looks like Diablo 3.
What?
Like, it's like graphically identical to Diablo 3. It's kind of disturbing.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, it sucked.
Oh.
They all the ones since the Dark Legacy have all been terrible.
Doesn't seem like a hard formula.
It's because they don't just make the damn game. They try to do, like,
cash in on industry trends or something.
Yeah, well, like, because there was the game Seven Sorrows, and that one was just kind of like dysfunctional. It was just like not well made. Seemed like it was rushed, like not play tested enough, kind of thing. Like, just like I remember distinctly. Because I played a little bit of it with some of my friends, and like there was lots of like really small rooms that would have like weird invisible walls, or like the fail state of falling in a pit is not quite matched up to the graphics of the pit. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like you might slide into a pit when you weren't quite over the pit.
Oh.
Like that kind of shit.
Okay.
Like just not well made. And then the one that they made more recently, which was like attempting to reboot, they just called it Gauntlet, I think, or something like that, and it was just Diablo 3, and it was like, oh. People thought about doing Saga Frontier. I would love to. I'd love to cover it. Like, when it comes to JRPGs, I really don't want us to play them on the live stream because, I mean, we can't do story. Like, just straight up, we cannot live stream a story-driven game and pay any attention to the story. Like,
yeah,
it's impossible. It just doesn't fit the format. So, like, if we do cover any RPGs, then we'd have to play them in our off time, which is why I've been doing Crosscode. And, like, originally I was going to do other more profitable RPGs, but I ended up getting addicted to that game, and it's taken too long. And I mean, that's another part of the problem, is that it takes forever. So, like, my mindset was that the RPGs we would cover on the show would just be like whatever I or you happen to be playing in our off time, and then, like, you know, once in a blue moon an RPG video will come out and it'll be like, hey, secretly all this time I've been playing this game. Now I'm gonna tell you about it. But yeah, there's no possible way we can do any super storage. So, like, if we ever do cover Nier Automata, it would have to be that one of us broke away and just played it and then wrote a thing. And the problem with that is that if you break away and play a game, that means you have to then write and edit the video, which is kind of what you don't really want to be a YouTuber.
No.
And
making that Doom video was hell.
Like, that's the thing. Like, the conceit of this channel, the reason it is the way it is that writing and editing videos is very easy for me, and playing video games is very easy for Tom. So
I'm good at doing barely more than nothing.
Yeah. Well, like, you know, it's nice to have you as a live stream partner and stuff. And, like, you can get, like, you will be a lot more patient with the game than I will, and, like, actually
I've rage quit pretty good sometimes.
Well, that's true, but, like, I mean that you will learn how to play the game. You know?
Embarrassing.
You also give us cred. You beat Shinobi.
I did. My one claim to fame.
Like, I would never have beaten Shinobi and made a video about Shinobi, you know?
Fair. Oh, God.
But
this gun. Oh, I the problem is, like, I'm getting shot, and there's really not enough visual feedback for taking damage in this game. And so, because I can't hear it, I'm just like, I'm fine, right? And I'm not fine.
When will I Am Games review Onimusha? I'd love to do Onimusha as well.
We have a few of them. We don't have them all, though.
Yeah.
Why do I only have 36 bullets for this? I picked up ammo and everything down here. This is bullshit.
You can stream story games, you just can't make it a show? I mean, what the hell would be the point? Who's going to watch a live stream that's not a show?
I think you underestimate autism.
I know I do. Have you seen the Rockman 8 opening, Electrical Communication? It's cool classic anime. I don't think so, but I think I've seen the Mega Man 7 opening, because at this one game store in Rochester, they would just be playing it on the CRT TV on repeat at all times. You remember that?
Yeah.
Like, literally at all times, every time we went to the store, there was just this little CRT playing the Mega Man 7 opening cutscene over and over again. If you don't play Nier Automata with the in-game music on, you're doing it wrong. I probably would. Like, I overstate how often I turn off music in games.
I'm not about this weird life that Digi has of turning the sound off on games. Immersion is cool.
Okay, but game music is not entertaining for a long stretch of time.
Disagree.
Like, okay, Halo, for instance, rarely has music.
Right.
So most of the game, you're just walking through silence and or gunshot noises. Now, would I turn off the sound in Halo? Not likely, because I want to hear all that shit. But because there is so little music, I'm just going to play my own music over it. So,
I mean, something like Halo I can understand, but if a game has a soundtrack, I want to hear the soundtrack.
I mean, the Halo has a soundtrack. What the fuck are you talking about?
Not all the time.
Well, what game has a soundtrack literally at all times?
Shinobi.
Well, Shinobi has pretty dope music, and I'd probably listen to it if I was playing it. I mean, it depends on the game. Like, If I play Bomberman, I'm playing it for the music, you know? But, like, I'm mostly talking about, like, JRPGs and shit where you have to hear the same battle theme 700 fucking times. Like,
I suppose
when I get to a new area, I want to hear the music, but then, like, the music is usually a minute and a half, and it loops forever. So it's just like, alright, I heard it, I get it, but, like, I don't want to hear this minute and a half long loop for the 30 minutes I'm in this area, you know? It's fucking maddening.
What if I just, like, did that with mouth noises for the next half an hour?
You ever look that song up on ocremix.org? I did.
Alright, well, getting on this was a mistake. I was gonna bail. Alright, there's no way. There's no way I can do this. I need the fucking tank you're supposed to have at this point. Yeah, bitch! Get fucked! I forgot you could actually added the hijacking into this.
Also, I will say that while I'm sure Nier Automata's OST is probably good, Nier was also very highly praised for its OST, and I thought it was overrated as fuck. I also thought Nier was overrated as fuck, but, you know. I didn't play it past the first ending, so I don't really know anything about the game. I only played 25 hours. I can't possibly form an informed opinion about its quality.
Seems to be the general consensus. Oh, fuck you, asshole. Come on.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you made it far enough into a product that I dropped early, we already have a different perspective and it can't be reconciled. If you made it 40 episodes into a show and then said, oh, it gets good at episode 40, and I dropped it after the first 2 episodes, we're already on completely different planes. Because you could sit through that, and that means you're a different type of person from me, you know?
Yeah.
That's just how it be. Now I have the Crosscode battle music in my head. By the way, I have not turned off the music at all while playing Crosscode. It is legitimately super addicting.
Just from the little I've heard. I don't even know if I'm doing damage to this thing.
It all blends super well. Battle music's like
oh god, there's hunters now too. I just have a ghost. What an unfair fight.
You guys should play all the DMC games in anticipation for DMC 5. I don't think we necessarily have to do that. We can just play DMC 5.
I've played those games so many times.
Yeah, everybody knows about Devil May Cry.
Except for 2, because nobody likes 2.
Yeah, nobody cares about 2.
God, it's bad. It's really fucking bad, guys. Just a shame, because I like Dante's design in that game. Too bad it sucks. I'm gonna make a tactical retreat. Oh god, I can't make a tactical retreat!
Have you ever listened to Les Ralices de Nudes, the Japanese noise rock band? I have not. If they're dope, then link me in the I Am Games Discord. Make sure to @ me though, because I have a server mute. Most people don't think Nier is really that good of a game, though. I mean, it didn't review well, but it's got like a lot of cult status.
God, I think it's broke.
What are the political demographics of Digi and Tom's audience? I did there was a time where, like, in my Discord, everybody who was in there at the time did, like, a political alignment chart, and then somebody, like, mapped it to a graph.
I was the most right-leaning person in
Mark was the most right-leaning, and even Mark was just, like, barely over the line into the conservative side, and everyone else was left and libertarian. There was, like, maybe 2 people who were on, like, the more authoritarian side of the coin, but it was, like, just literally a line going from the center to the left libertarian. And I was, like, just slightly to the left and at the bottom of libertarian. Like, I was all the way... I was the most libertarian person there, whereas Mark was the most,
Oh, come
most
on!
conservative.
This sucks dick. Game sucks dick. Halo sucks dick. Video games suck dick.
Couldn't you guys have played
I
this
suck
game on
dick.
co-op? No. Unfortunately, there is no way to...
The PC version of Halo 1 does not have multiplayer.
Right. That's why it's called SPV3, Single Player Version 3.
I was very excited when I first found out about this. I'm like, I can't wait to play this with my bros. And
Yeah.
my hopes were immediately dashed.
Yeah.
I immediately looked for another mod to
I mean,
add in
like,
multiplayer again, and that does not
To be
exist.
completely honest, like, the whole reason I suggested we play this was that I thought we would be able to play co-op, and then it was, like, kind of too late when I realized we couldn't, but I still thought it would be a neat idea, just because, I mean,
we can switch
it
off
is-
if you want to, like,
it is what
take
it
a
is.
stab at this. I don't have to sit here and monopolize the
nah,
game.
I feel like I could play Halo anytime, you know?
But this is SPV3,
I mean,
my
it's
dude.
like I know about it now, and I could do it whenever I want, you know?
Sorry, Pew, 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 pew.
Tom, why do you prefer DMC 1 over 3? Didn't you explain that when you even mentioned that you did?
I don't remember if I did or not. I really like. I think like the presentation I like a lot. Like not the aesthetic, because like the cutscenes in 3 are fucking amazing and all this cool shit. But just like I really don't like the engine they developed for DMC3. I think it looks kind of ugly. I remember even at the time people were like, yeah, this is kind of meh. It's like good for the PS2, but it's no Ninja Gaiden. But I still think DMC1 is the better looking game from an aesthetic perspective, if not from a technical one. But I mean, that's not a huge like detraction for me. I don't know. I just like DMC1 for whatever reason feels better. Like the hits feel better to me. Like I think like hitting stuff with Alistair feels better than hitting things with Rebellion. I like that in DMC1 like there's actual gore and stuff. Like in DMC3 like most of the enemies just like bleed dust and shit, and it's kind of weird. Whereas like you fucking cut something in DMC1 and like there's like gore and blood spray and stuff, and it like again sells the game feel a little bit better. I think also a lot of it probably is just raw nostalgia, because like I played the fuck out of that game. That was like my first PS2 game, and a lot of that shit. I'm only human.
Keyblade Spirit said of Nier, it's a bad game, just a great use of story for a game. I mean, again, I did not get beyond the first ending, but like I found the story completely uninteresting. Like I did not really understand why the story or characters especially were so hyped in that game. Like, I mean, I have a video about it. Go watch Adventure Action RPG Nier. One of my old game analysis videos from before I was even a Digibro.
Before he was a digital boy.
Actually, I think I was going by Digibro at the time, but it wasn't on that channel.
Analog boy. Oh, I picked a bad time to run out of ammo. Yeah, this section is pretty shitty without a tank. I think this is where you get the tank.
Then don't play Automata, full plot reveal only on third playthrough, but Automata is fun to play, though. I mean, I've already played some of it. I played like a couple hours of it.
I played the demo
have
of
the
Radcon
game.
2 and I came pretty hard. It was great.
Yeah, it's fucking...
Why is this a word?
It's pretty fun to just run around and cut shit.
There's not much more a game needs to do to get my attention.
I just feel like Yoko Taro games are... They're very, like, quirky and weird and dark, but in a way that doesn't come off as unique to me as it seems to people who really love his shit. Like, I think that in the realm of video games, his stuff is super distinct, but in the realm of, like, anime, it would be not anything special. But, like, again, I haven't played to the multiple endings, so it's possible. I mean, I watched Clems explain all of Drakengard, and it kind of seemed like the story was fucking terrible, but, you know.
Why? What is the point of this? Whatever, I don't give a shit.
Is that on the main channel or Modal Soul? It was on Modal Soul back before I had a main channel. I mean, back when Modal Soul was my main and only channel. But
simpler days.
Yeah, there was 5 game analysis videos I did for Adventure Action RPG, which were, the first one was Dungeon Explorer 1 and 2, which is a game for the fucking turbo graphics. That video is terrible because the audio is just really bad. Then I did Xenoblade Chronicles, and was basically just like, I don't like this game and I don't want to play it anymore. Then I did The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap, which was just me sucking the game's dick, and then Nier. And the Nier one is like by far the longest, but partly because there's like an 8-minute section of it that's an unscripted rant about why this one part of the game was annoying. Like, the rest of it is scripted, but like to explain this one part, I just felt I had to rant about it, and it's a weird shift in the video. But and then later, like, I always think of it as just those 4, because those are the ones that I did in the style where I had like an on-screen character, and it was kind of meant to be like zero punctuation, but in no way resembles it. It was more like what my pony reviews were. It was just like a character sitting on screen to justify the fact that I was gonna, put all these different images on. But there was a 5th video, which was on Castlevania Aria of Sorrow, but it didn't have that editing style. It was just full screen footage. And it also had a really stupid gimmick where I tried to do the short version and the long version, where the short version was like a skit and then the long version was a review, and the skit was awful. But yeah, that's
Why is this taking so long? Forget it. I'm leaving. Goodbye. Oh, this was a bad idea. For some reason, I'm just riding into a wall and died. Oh my fucking god, are you kidding me? I gotta do all that again because of a glitch. Oh, I hate this fucking game. It is awful.
Yeah, this guy says the reaction to Doki Doki Literature Club shows that gamers have the lowest bar ever for anime if you turn it into video games. Indeed. Like, it's amazing how often...
What? I don't know anything about Doki Doki Literature Club. So.
It just is like it's just like an edgy visual novel that was really popular because, like, the thing is that, like, most people's perception of anime is very different from what anime is, and they just don't know shit about fuck. And so when, like, a game comes out that even just attempts to do, like, a basic anime story, it'll be like, for a lot of people, it's like watching anime for the first time, like discovering your first good anime, which for most people, their first anime that really gets them into the medium is not going to be like the greatest work of storytelling in anime. It's going to be something that just represents the unique, bizarre way that anime can be, or the unique set of ideas that it can have, but like you will later find a show that does those things better. And with gaming, it's like, yeah, like that guy said, like, people just have such a low bar because they probably played Doki Doki Literature Club and had never seen a story like that before, whereas, like, in anime, there's probably 7 different versions of that story, one of which is vastly better than that game is, which I feel like is how JRPGs get away with so much, because, like, almost every JRPG I feel like is overrated. Like, most JRPGs... people will tell you about how deep the story is, and it's like literally some shit you could get from an anime, like, and not have to play through 1,000 random battles. Not to say that they're bad. Like, I started playing Xenogears, and Xenogears is literally Ava, but like it's distinct enough that it's still fun and cool, and it has some of its own ideas, but like the whole presentation of it is very clearly like Ava was just a huge hit, let's capitalize on that with a game, so yeah. Doki Doki and Undertale at the same level of WoW, so unique. I think what makes Undertale interesting is the robustness of it. The fact that there are so many different things that you could do that the game will account for. that like it can be a completely fucking different game depending on what you do and what order you do it in, and the fact that there's no like going back from the decisions you've made. You know, like once you've killed a character, the game will remember that forever, and there's no way to get back on the path where that didn't happen. You know, like, not to say that you can't do a pacifist run, but there will always be some taint to it that, like, the game recognizes that you didn't save everybody. Granted, I cheated that game because I had played the demo, found out that, like, if you, like, you know, I found out about the gimmick, and then when I played the actual game, I just never let anybody die. Because I already knew that, you know.
But I mean, what I never understand with understand people are like, oh, it's just so like crazy that you can't. I mean, the concept is cool. Don't get me wrong, but the game's tagline is the RPG where no one has to die.
Right.
So I just went in assuming like, if anyone dies, I've done something wrong.
Well, and that's the funny thing is that when I played the demo, I had also gone in assuming that, but it didn't seem like I could beat the boss without killing her because I couldn't figure out what was supposed to be happening. Because you, like, the only way you can win that battle, like, that battle is a test of your empathy. It's a test of, like, in the face of a situation where you don't know what to do, will you eventually resort to violence, or will you continue trying to, you know, to resolve the situation? And I think that, and granted, I don't even think I had heard that tagline before when I played it, but, like, I had assumed that I didn't have to kill her, but then I just couldn't figure out what to do, you know? And then I went through again to try and, because I felt like I had fucked up. And then that was when I, you know, learned the whole reveal thing. But then it was just like, okay, well, now that I know that, I can keep that in mind when I play again, you know?
Right. God. This is a grind. This is a slog.
Doki Doki only got popular because of the spooky fourth wall breaks and postmodernism, which is by now just as played out as anything else. Yeah, I mean, everybody's got to have their first. Maybe it was Metal Gear Solid 2. Maybe it was Infinite Jest. Maybe it was some Gainax show. You know, a lot of people just literally think that meta is deep because they have not considered meta yet. But, like, for fuck's sake, I was writing metatextual stories when I was 15. I cannot be impressed with that shit. How will Namkai Bandai publish our games? We said it. We'll just put it on a list.
Yeah, it's not like a legit publisher, quote unquote. Oh god, I'm gonna die. I can't move. Oh my god, fuck this. I hate this game so goddamn much. Yeah, I'm dead.
There's no going back except that you can just delete the app data files. I mean, sure,
Yeah.
if you know. Like, you will know that you've done that, too. Like, that's the whole headfuck of the game, is that, like, you would have, like, it, you know, it challenges you to just be responsible for your decisions and just play the fucking thing.
Can someone tell me at this point in the game you're supposed to have a tank? Because I can't help but feel you're supposed to have a tank right now, and that's why I keep dying. But I could be wrong. I could just suck.
All of Tara's games are, in a way, a meta-analysis of video game tropes on the whole. What makes them impactful is that their stories really can't work without them being games. They require player action for the story to be effective. I guess I can see that. I mean, in the case of Nier, it felt more like just like a bunch of wacky, fun, cool ideas, but like it didn't feel as though they were necessarily like cohesive in an interesting way. Nier Automata, from what little I've played, is definitely very interesting in the way that it like contextualizes your deaths and stuff like that, and it's Like, there's literally, you have to die at least once to even, like, realize what is actually fucking going on. Like, it's kind of neat. Like, you die for the first time and you're expecting to restart what you've done, and instead it takes you to a totally different location and is like, yeah, here's what death means in this universe. And you're like, what?
You know what I should do? Fuck your shit. Pick up this guy's gun. Get fucked, get fucked, get fucked, get fucked. Yeah. Fucker.
I have not watched Kizumonogatari 3 yet. Apparently you're supposed to have a tank at this part.
Yeah, okay. Then I'm not crazy. They didn't spawn the tank. So I've been doing this entire section on foot.
I see.
So
I like how you said they didn't spawn the tank. Like,
yeah.
the game
The
may
game's
have glitched and the tank didn't spawn.
Yeah, the game's a collective
Yeah.
of ones and zeros, and they didn't spawn the tank. Those fucking bastards. This is when someone goes back in the video archive and is like, I actually just walked right past it because you're retarded. I'm like, oh. I just wanted to be so games, I would do the tank section on foot. You know, after I beat Shinobi, everything's just really easy now, so I gotta really just add my own challenge in, you know?
No, 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 no. How close are we to the end of this level? I think we're about ready to wrap up this fucking I Am Game stream.
How long have we been going for?
We've been going for 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, well, I
So
just
we've
lost
been-
all... Oh, no, I got a checkpoint.
We've
Thank fucking
We've been
God.
going for a while, and our viewership is slowly diminishing. I mean, we're at 98, which is not bad, but we were at like 112 at the height.
I mean, that's not a lot.
Yeah.
Not a huge decline. That's acceptable.
No, 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 no.
You can go for a straight 3 hours. Just
Jester
close out
Radical
like
says,
10
Tom,
minutes.
call them ones and call them ones and zeros virgins. Do it.
Fucking virgin ones and zeros. Never even got any fucking pussy. Disgusting.
For me, the best part of people keep talking about Doki Doki Literature Club. I literally don't know anything about the game. I was just talking out of my ass on the basis of what that guy said. That guy just gave me an out to hate a thing that I wanted to hate, so I did. But I don't even have a mental image of Doki Doki Literature Club. Like, I don't even know what it looks
sit
like.
around and there's cute girls who are all fucked in the head and they read you poems.
Have you read
That's
played
all
it?
I know about it.
Oh.
And
Oh.
Jeff Fu likes it.
Oh, well.
I mean, I trust his taste less than
Yeah.
than most people. Jeff Digi, you will definitely love Recreators Stew. It's Tom, did you ever hear about that like when we
No.
it was really funny at Crunchyroll Expo. Like, there was this show that was airing at the time called Recreators that was like one of the bigger, like, hyped up shows. And like, I had no interest in it. Like, it didn't seem like my type of show. It seemed like just seasonal stuff, you know? And Jeff loved it. And at Crunchyroll Expo, when me and him and Arcada and Giguk and I think Canipa was there as well, we were all hanging out with Miles from Crunchyroll, and he was taking us out to Mexican food. And we were all drunk. And, like, Jeff kept insisting that he thought I would love Recreators. And Giguk and Arcada were both like, there is no way. Like, they were just like, no, dude, there's no way Digi's gonna like that show. And it was really funny because I was more inclined to believe them. Like, it seemed like they were right. And I was like, but Jeff is somebody who I have known. Like, I've talked to Jeff. We've you know, like, I would consider myself to have been friends with him for a little while. Like, how could he have less idea of my taste than Giguk and Arcada, who I've basically never talked to until that day? But it was like they were both so clearly new. Like, they had this face like, dude, like, how could you possibly think Digi would like that show? And Jeff was just like, nah, man, you'll totally like it. And of course I did not like it. I mean, I made it farther in than I expected to. I watched like half of it, and it was very much like a touch and go thing where like I would hate it for a little while, but then something interesting would happen, and I'd be like, all right, I'll give it a little longer. But then like once it had kind of shown its entire hand and I had a sense of where the plot was going to go from then on, it was just like, all right, I don't really care anymore, you know? It was just really funny to think that Gigak and Arcata were like so sure that I wouldn't like this, and like I just didn't understand why Jeff thought I would. Like he couldn't really convey to me what about it he thought I would like. But those guys were completely sure that I would.
He probably
not.
gets money every time someone watches it from Crunchyroll.
It's possible. V creators is exposition of the show, boring as fuck. Agreed. Have you seen Caleb's video calling Jeff a tool for telling people to watch part 5 of JoJo without watching the rest? I don't know who Caleb is, and no. I don't understand why he would advocate that, even. Like, does he not? I thought he loved JoJo. Like, why would he
gets
advocate?
Money from Crunchyroll every time someone watches a new release of JoJo.
It's very possible. Why don't you release your YouTube videos in 1080p? Well, honestly, the biggest reason is that okay, so we used to use Google Drive. When Devu sent me videos, he would send them to me on Google Drive, but Google Drive was so slow for both uploads and downloads that he could never get them to me within a timely fashion that I wanted them. And at a time that really mattered, it kind of doesn't anymore, which is why it's funny that we haven't just gone back. But what he actually does is he uploads them to YouTube, and then I rip them from third-party YouTube to download sites, and those only ever go up to 720p.
That seems unnecessary.
So eventually Devu just started making them in 720p because of the fact that I couldn't upload or couldn't download them at a higher resolution than that. I also do all mine at 720p just to keep the render times low and the file sizes low, because like no one seems to notice or care, and like a lot of people watch YouTube videos either on mobile or in windowed mode. Like I don't see a lot of people watch YouTube full screen, like when I observe other people watching YouTube. So literally 1080p would not matter if you're not watching it full screen.
Dude, people are pissed that like one of the new iPhones doesn't have a 1080p screen. Like, I can't watch 1080p video on my phone. I'm like,
I mean, that is weird that they would regress that. Like, why?
Keep the cost down. It's supposed to be their cheaper one.
I see.
But like, it's funny. Everyone's like, it doesn't have the high resolution screen. I'm like, yeah, but it also has double the battery life of all the other iPhones. Like, why would that not be better?
And the screen is 3 inches long, so who gives a shit?
Right.
Like,
that's my whole point. It's like nobody cares. Like,
yeah.
Like you're not appreciating the fact that like your phone right now is quad HD resolution, the same as my 32-inch monitor. Like, you don't know. All right, it's just like you're just a fucking faggot geek who's like, oh, the specs, the paper specs. I'm like, infuriates me. Infuriates me we ever went higher than 720p on phones. It was not necessary.
Bo Oddball, I have not seen Solo or 120 Days of Sodom, but I'm sure that Brandon Tolentino probably watched them at my house many times. So he would always just like sit around and watch edgy movies with Trevor.
Oh, fucking God. Regret not getting a sniper rifle or something. What am I getting hit by?
JoJo.
Why are you here? What the? Where did he come from?
Agreed.
Are you kidding me?
Is that a super brute?
I don't even know how he got here. He wasn't here before.
Well, you fucking brained his ass.
Fucking bitch. I need sound. Without sound and without any really visual hit detection.
He just basically sums up parts 1 to 4 just so people can get on the hype train.
Sounds like a Jeff move.
I just, like, it's not hard to watch a show. And besides, who is not watching JoJo?
Me.
Like, well, you wouldn't watch part 5 without watching the other 4, would you?
Of course not.
I mean,
I'm not an artist.
Fucking literally normies watch JoJo. Like, JoJo is the easiest thing to recommend to anybody ever. I don't understand why you would want to prioritize part 5 over the other parts. Like, even if you thought it was the best one, they're all mostly the same and mostly good, so why the fuck would you not just watch them all? It's just more shit to watch. You know, like, is it that important that you be literally watching it fucking weekly as it airs? Who's gonna get hyped just because they got it summarized to them in a video and then told they should watch the new one? Who the fuck is going to want to do that?
I think you underestimate normies.
Well, I mean, people have been shitting on this video hardcore, so I think most people are on my side with this. I watch Digi content passively unless it's... And also, I mean, normies are the ones who I would expect to watch all of a show. Like, normies are the ones who will literally just marathon all of Game of Thrones in a week to catch up to the new season, because they do not have anything else to do with their time. Like, normies, it's they go to work and then they come home, and then that time is just filled by whatever they can passively allow to pass by their eyeballs. So if you give them purpose with which to use that time, they will optimize it better than you've ever dreamed. That's because really they will literally... My parents have several times marathoned all of Game of Thrones in a week. Several times. Like, every time a new season comes out, they watch the entire show.
Terrifying.
Because they just... That's all they do, is they watch TV. That's what their lives are. So, like... If they can watch TV with a purpose as opposed to just flipping through channels and watching whatever bullshit's on, then they will, you know, they'll dedicate all of their time and energy to that until it is done. It's kind of amazing.
What the fuck?
Normies can be actioned, you know? They are actionable.
This is insanity. Why are there enemies behind where I already was? What is going on with this? What is going on? Why? Why would a bunch of brutes spawn behind where I already went? God, this game is madness. Oh, fuck.
Someday the kiddos are going to have 16K screens on their thumbnails, and they won't understand the struggle of not having 4K on a 3-inch screen. I don't think he meant thumbnails. I think he meant at their fingertips. The best part is that you don't need a catch-up video in order to watch Part 5. The anime will do it for you. Yeah, also that. Like, they will definitely summarize what the fuck is going on.
It's all about money, dude. It was a cash grab. Come on. You know that.
I think Jeff just wants people to watch seasonal anime so he can talk about the video, them, and then have people watch their videos.
I mean, that's definitely the case. But it's like...
It's like, don't worry, just watch.
Like, what, are we going to do it for your sake? Anime. Like, are we going to do it for you? Like, it's like trying to force... It's like trying to force human nature into, like, helping you. You know? It's like he thinks that he can somehow manipulate the minds of the audience to want to do that.
Is he wrong,
because it would be... I think he is wrong, considering that everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
I think there are probably people who will do it. Oh my god.
I really don't think... I mean, not to say that I don't think there's anyone who will watch Part 5 without having watched the other parts, but I don't think they're going to do it because of Jeff's recommendation in this instance. Like,
I hate this game. It is awful.
What happened? You just go backwards and people spawn behind you?
Yeah, I mean, there's just enemies that weren't here before that are here if I try and go back and get items. And it doesn't make any sense. And I keep dying from nothing because I have no sound, so I can't hear when things are above me shooting me, and there's no visual detection of getting hit.
Solve that sound shit.
Ugh, this is just irritating, and I still miss my... I don't think they were supposed to have a tank at this point anymore, though, so I can't complain about that. Alright, I need that. Let's take the SMG instead. Spray and pray without delay. Actually, it's so, like, empty, it's not even worth it.
Hey yo, Tom, Construct 3 is a bitch sometimes. You may have tried this already. Here's a prompt, though. Create makeshift states by creating functions and compiling every player value you want in that state as an action that sets the desired value.
That is literally what I did 2 days ago.
I don't know what any of that means.
Basically, if you don't have like states set up for each individual input a character does, all the inputs are active at all times, so they conflict with each other, and your game becomes a mess because you have to keep setting up like nested if statements to be like, unless you're shooting, run, and like it gets really messy and hard to deal with. But if you have states, so you basically section off each input so it's only affected when it's doing its own thing. Like when running is happening, all the other functions don't work. It's just the running code. So then they don't interfere with each other. And I can't believe that I paid $20 for a construct course and they didn't mention this. And the only reason I knew to try and make a state machine or a state function was because I was reading up on Python and I knew about them already. Almost makes me want to get my money back because I am still within my return window. But I already left a positive review, so kind of weird if I did that.
Someone asked, has Tom played a game on IM Games yet that didn't severely piss him off by the end?
You need to understand that every game I've ever played pisses me off. Like, this is why I don't usually live stream. Because, like, I only like games in retrospect. At the time, they all suck and games are terrible.
It's really funny because, like, all the people who I grew up around were like that, too. Like, my friend Brando, who I probably watched play the most games other than Victor, like, would go on, like, real angry tears after failing. Not unlike you with Shinobi, but even more extreme and even more, like, he would get legitimately angry and not be able to, like, calm back down. Like, he'd have to leave the room sometimes.
I mean, that's
like,
happened to me before.
I just don't get it. I can't get mad
at
at
the game. It's called being autist.
I guess so.
I just have the perfect mix of tisms that, like, I don't have a high opinion of myself, so every time I fail at a video game, it reinforces the fact that I'm a failure. So that's already bad enough. But then on top of that, I hate wasting time, and I interpret failing a game as having to do something I already did over again, and that infuriates me.
I guess because I don't think games matter, I don't care if I'm bad at them.
I don't, like, care that I'm bad at the game. It's just the fact that I'm wasting my time, and it reinforces my own negative demons about myself.
I just can't feel like I'm wasting any more, like, I guess I am literally wasting more time than I would be, but, like...
God, I'm gonna die again. I can't even get out of range.
I don't know.
Fucking cunt.
I mean, I guess the main reason I stopped playing games is that, like, for me, games have, like, a very fast entropy point, you know? It's like if I do fail at the game enough times, that means I'm less likely to finish it because I'm probably only going to play the game for a few days, you know? So, like, if I get stuck somewhere, the odds of it actually getting completed do dramatically lower.
I think I have one more run in me before I just say, fuck it, we're done. Rocket launcher. There we go. SMG and rocket launcher. Very odd combo, but I'm going for it. Nate.
See, this is I agree with this. Infinite Walrus says, one does not become good at the autistic side of games by seeing failure as a waste of time. Rather, one becomes good by treating failure as an expected part of the learning experience.
I mean, I get that. I just haven't... I mean, I understand it's 100% irrational and stupid. It's just a tism that I can't control.
It's just called having anger issues.
Yeah, I mean, like, I should be in anger management, but I'm on a live stream instead. You know, it's how the world works sometimes.
Well, your anger is profitable because it's funny and people like to watch people freak out.
I've only seen you get mad at video games.
Yeah, no, Tom is the most, like, placid human being I've ever been around, aside from when he's mad at video games.
Yeah, this is the only thing that really makes... This makes me mad, and, like, when things, especially technology-related, don't work for no fault of my own.
I feel
that
like
infuriates me too.
You don't get the same kind of angry though, because it's more of like a seething internal anger when things go wrong in real life, but like with video games, it's more of an explosive, instantaneous.
This is where I get it all out, I guess.
I think it's just because in games, like when you die, it's like, you know, there's like a clear state, and there's also like a moment where you can do that, like you're. There's like it's almost like the game gives you the out of that couple of seconds where you can freak out before it reloads you back in, you know?
Yeah.
Real life doesn't have that wait time where, like, the world stops for you to fucking lose your shit for a second.
For eternity.
Now that you're keto, you should play Super Meat Boy.
Oh yeah, we were saying that you are now the Super Meat Boy, so you have to play Super Meat Boy.
I can't even imagine getting through that game. It looks really fun, but I can't imagine getting through it sane.
Have you ever played it?
No.
Oh shit.
I have nearly beaten Super Meat Boy, but I could not beat the like second to last level.
My friends would like play it all night when I go over to their house, like for a year.
It's
like,
fucking
game.
because it's depending on how you play it, the game is long as fuck because you've got all the levels and then there's also the dark mode version of the level, which is like a harder version.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And then like there's also tons of challenges within the levels that you can do. So like if you want 100%, it will be
stupid faggot. Oh my god! 3 more seconds, I would have been able to recharge my shield. This game is for fucking homos, and that's why I'm playing it. God damn it! Can we be done? This is awful.
Yeah, we can be done whenever you want, dude. I was just waiting for you to. Yeah, we've crossed the 3-hour threshold.
I just hate video games. I hate
Ninja
them.
Jess says like whenever Sonic dies, you go, yeah, fast.
What if I liked things? What's that? Like?
Spicy Salt says Tom is super chill. I like him. I hope I become like him when I grow up.
Wait a minute. I feel like I'm getting some mixed signals here all of a sudden.
You should make an updated version of your 3x3s. Don't tempt me. It takes time. Though I do, like, enough people actually pay attention to my 3x3s that I actually feel like that would be a worthwhile endeavor. Because, like, people do look to those and, like, share them and shit. And, I'm not used to that because I used to make lists all the time and nobody ever gave a shit. So the fact that people actually care about my lists is a very different experience.
Here we go. One more time.
Tom will get you guys banned eventually is the only problem I have with this. Otherwise, it is hilarious as fuck.
I mean, I'm surprised we're not banned already, all things considered.
Me too.
Fraulein says, I just want to hate video games.
Yeah. I wish I could quit you video games.
Where can I find Digi's 3x3s? You shouldn't look at them anyways, because they're all horribly out of date. I had made this, like, I made something called the Ultimate 9-Ball, where it was not 9 3x3s in a 3x3 formation, but it's so out of date. Maddox is on my list of favorite web personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's dated, alright.
Yeah. And, like, some of them, like, I couldn't think of enough mediums to put on the list, so, like, I included webcomics, but it was kind of, like, only the first 4 I gave a fuck about at all, or something. Or maybe it was just comics in general, but, like, half of it was...
You need to care more about comics. Comics are good. You know what else you need to care about, dude? I'm gonna plant my flag here.
What?
You need to get into board games. There are really good board games and card games and stuff.
You fucking find me one and a group of people who I don't hate to play them with.
I mean... the one thing in my house that I haven't brought over are all my board games, which I have a lot of.
So you do own them. Do you own good ones?
Yeah. In fact, one of my favorite guys is a guy, White Wizard Games, and they're in Framingham, which is like 20 minutes from my house, and I didn't know that, so I've been repping my local boys this whole time. They make a bunch of really fun card games. And there's a game that I think, well, I don't know if you'll like them. You're fucking autistic in that way, but like Mansions of Madness is really cool. It's like a starter game I like to have people play if they want to get into board games.
Yeah, I mean, I know of Mansions of Madness because it's kind of, isn't it from the same? It's like aesthetically similar to that other Lovecraft game, right?
Did I say Mansions of Madness and not mean Mansions of Madness? I meant Betrayal at House on the Hill. That's a fun game. It's like Mansions of Madness, but like easier because you don't need a GM. The game runs itself. And how it works is that you pick one of the characters and you go into this haunted house, so to speak, and it's built randomly. So like as you explore rooms, you grab a tile and put it down. So the house is different every time you play, and you go through the game and like you kind of like go through encounters, get items and stuff like that. But at some point you trigger enough things called omens, and what's called the haunt begins, and you have to choose one, like depending on how the haunt was triggered. One of like 50 separate events occurs, and this
sounds pretty similar to the Call of what the fuck? It's not Call of Cthulhu. What the fuck is the board game
Arkham
called?
Horror?
Arkham Horror, yes.
Yeah, the difference is that
I
this
have
is
played a
way
bunch of
easier
Arkham
to
Horror.
play. It's not nearly as, like, difficult. Or like...
Arkham Horror, the fucking setup time was, like...
insane. Yeah, this is set up in seconds.
Our friend Tolentino was way into Arkham Horror, and he had, like, all the expansions, and he would set up the entire fucking thing, and it would take, like, an hour to set up.
Me and my tabletop buddies, we played Arkham Horror once, and the first time we played it, we just so happened to trigger, like, an infamous event that had to be errated out of the new revisions of the game, where the first thing that happens is, like, monsters spawn every turn, so the board was overrun, and we just died a slow death over 2 hours, and it was the worst.
That's what most runs of that game are, is that you die a slow death over 6 hours. Like, it's almost impossible to win. Like, the amount of sheer...
It is pretty...
Like, in order to actually win, like, to actually beat a... Because, like, getting to a boss fight is, like, as hard as a hard game. Beating the boss once you get there is nigh impossible.
Right, and that's, like, the whole point. That's, like, the lore, or, like, the flavor
but
of
it means that
Lovecraft.
most of your games are 6 hours long and end in failure.
Well, the nice thing about Mansions of Madness is... not Mansions of Madness, Betrayal at House on the Hill is that it's rarely over an hour long. The scenario is always resolved and somebody always wins, because the conceit of the game is that everyone's playing together on a team. It's 4 people, up to 4 people, exploring this house, and it's randomly generated, things happen. But once the haunt happens, one of the people betrays the rest, and then it's 3v1, and they get, like, buffs from the scenario and stuff. So all of a sudden the entire, like, energy of the game breaks down, and you have to quickly
Exotic Mover says, Betrayal is fucking great until I became the Haunt 3 games in a row and everyone hated me because I won and then nobody wanted to play again. All random chance, by the way. So you need, I take it, 4 people to play it?
It's best with 4 people, but you can play with 3, I believe.
If we can find a 4th person and you bring this game, we could give it a try.
I mean, I have other games that are just 2-player, like Star Realms is a fun deck building game.
Bring whatever you want, dude.
Oh god, I have a bunch.
Okay, the thing about board games is that every single one you play, you have to, like, extensively learn the rules of this new game.
Well, here's the thing that you'll like about my taste in board games is I can't stand that shit, so it has to be easy to learn. So all my favorite games, like, I can explain to you in 10 minutes and you're good. It's like anything that's, like, rules deep, I'm like, I don't have the patience for this. Like, I like stuff that's simple. You
kids playing Catan? You also have to deal with the fact that I will say, you kids playing Catan over and over again.
Well, that significantly reduces my interest.
Because every time I see people playing board games, I walk up to them and I say, hey, are you kids playing Catan?
Why would you say that?
Because it's really funny.
It
makes everybody super mad.
I find it funny that I was like, oh, my next death, I'm gone, and that's the time I actually get the shit done.
Yeah.
I'm totally out of bullets, though. I used 600 bullets and a bunch of rockets. Jesus Christ.
I hear Digi really loves Dungeons & Dragons. He should play that. I really, like, overstated my dislike of D&D just because in that video, when I say I fucking hate it, I started to say fucking, and then I was like, that might be too much, so I was, like, rethinking it, and as a result, I just held on the F extra long, and then I thought it was so funny that I had to say it at that point. So I made it, like, super goofily extreme, even though I don't even really have any particularly strong feelings towards Dungeons & Dragons.
It's fun with the right people.
I've never really played, like, a legitimate campaign of it. Like,
dude,
the campaign that we played, I played as Nigga Rafiki, and I started off naked with 500 bottles of ale, and that was, like, what my game was.
I wish you were around when we were playing with my D&D group, because we had a guy who was a bard, and he actually could play the guitar, so we just played, like, songs all the time, and, like, half the game was us just going to whorehouses and fucking, and, like, it was great. It was a super fun time. Because, like, none of us took it seriously, but our DM, like, wanted to, but he had to deal with our shenanigans, and it was great. The worst thing is playing D&D with people who want to play a video game, because the whole great thing about D&D is you can, like, do whatever you want. So if you're someone who's like, I just want to go in the dungeon, I want to use swords, I'm like, you've missed the point entirely. You can do anything.
I want a digi compilation of the last 5 to 10 seconds of his videos. They're so fucking good. I agree. I never even considered that, but that would be hilarious. Just all the videos where I end on like a weird dumb face or something, or just like,
God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, I made a mistake. I should not have come in here. Oh, fuck, 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 fuck. Oh wow, I got him. I was not expecting that to work out in my favor. Alright, I don't have any bullets left for this gun. I don't know why I'm still holding on to it. Why would I drop the wrong one? It's cool, we're fine, we're fine, we're fine, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
it's cool.
It's cool.
Ohio gozaimasu.
Kids playing Catan.
Is that going to be another t-shirt that Ohio gozaimasu and you kids playing Catan?
Dude, if I can make people... I mean, I've never said that to anyone who didn't get insanely pissed off by it.
I mean, isn't that a great reason to put on a shirt? Just piss off everybody?
I don't know who would be willing to wear it. Like, who would think that was the right kind of... Like, I think most people would just be pissed off by the shirt's existence. Like, no one who I've ever known wasn't pissed off by it. I'm the only person who thinks it's funny.
I'm sure there's someone out there who's retarded as
You kids playing Catan? It was like mostly because my brother Shade he played D&D all the time with his friends, and they'd all come over, and I just walked through the room, and every single time I walked through the dining room, I would say it, and they would just be like, "Ah, shut up, fucking idiot."
I would probably hate you if I was friends with Shade.
Probably. I mean, that's what makes it so funny, is that, like, it's the ultimate just, like the fact that it makes them mad is why it's funny, because it's like, why do you give a shit? Especially because none of them had even heard of Catan. So, like, that was part of the joke, was that I was supposed to be, like, an old fuck who was, like, talking about some old-ass game.
So is
Catan's not that old.
Catan is, like, from the 80s, isn't it?
I know, but, like, it's not...
Catan was introduced to me as, like, when I heard about it, someone was like, oh, yeah, this is, like, the classic old-school game. Like, yeah, Catan's, like, a staple, because, like, every convention has, like, a room full of Catan. So, like, it's like, oh, yeah, this is, like, the old con staple, you know, is how it was introduced to me. And none of the Zoomers knew what the fuck Catan was at all. Which is why it was even funnier to me that I kept insisting they were playing it.
I just want to play video games. Where do I go? What do I do? It's bad conveyance. This level always
Iggy, please let me DM a D&D thing for you and Tom, maybe Discord members. The idea of playing anything via Discord sounds like the worst nightmare of my whole life.
You were just, like, vying for an idea where you could just play games in a Discord.
Well, the idea... I never quite got to this element of why I wanted it to be that way. I kind of suggested that, like, it would be that you could be in there like a physical representation of you without participating in the conversation, just so people knew you were there. Part of the inspiration for this is the fact that in MMORPGs, I always play solo because I don't like people or interaction. So I just like being...
Dude, what if we played an MMO together on
it could work. I mean, it would be a fucking struggle to have a chat and everything. Like, that's what I was doing with May when we were doing Digibro versus everybody. It was too stressful and we killed the show.
But we have Mark be on chat duty while we're...
What if you and Mark played an MMO and I just read the chat?
I hate MMOs, though. That's the whole conceit.
Oh. I mean, what MMO would we even play?
I have no idea. I'm talking out of my ass right now.
MMOs are like an endless time sink. I don't think it would fit the format that well.
We're going to beat all of WoW, starting with vanilla. Let's do it. What the fuck? I just fell off the fucking thing!
Yeah, it had borders.
What?
And you fell off
the border. Are you fucking...
I'm surprised you didn't die. That's kind of...
kidding me.
Amazing.
Why would... That's bad design. That's bad design. I can't believe I still have a plasma pistol and a fucking SMG with no bullets.
Anyway, yeah, so my point was that, like I usually play MMOs solo, and I thought, like, it would be interesting if there was a way that you could participate in this modern cliquish society without having to be subsumed into it. Like, that you could, you know, create your own things and kind of do your own thing while still being a presence in this world. and like, you know, because I feel like there's a lot of people out there who just want to go solo, and like they like the idea of being around people but not necessarily interacting with them. Do you know what I mean?
Punch.
So
Yeah,
so that's kind of the
bullets. Give me them bullets. Alright, cool. Here we go.
Oh my God.
Here we go.
Mark became a unicorn.
Whoa, sick.
It's cold and spring.
I sure as I haven't eaten dinner or anything yet. No wonder I'm hungry.
Yeah, we can stop this anytime, bro.
I'm just, as soon as I die, we're gonna be done. I just I think I'm gonna die right now. Here comes the guy with the sword. I'm not prepared. Here comes the guy with the sword. I'm not prepared. Hey, we're done. Well, that was timely as fuck. Thanks, guys. Remember to be the games you want to see, make the games you want to make, be the Discord you want to be in, which is ours, clearly, and buy a T-shirt. Ninja Suffering, for people who haven't seen in the Discord, is live.
It's out?
Both versions.
Shit. Why
Ninja
didn't we
Suffering.
talk about this way the hell earlier?
Because I just remembered right now.
Ninja Suffering is out. There are two different versions because there was the more abstract version which looked dope, and then the more literal version which looked dope, and then you were like, which one should we choose? And I was like, fucking both.
I made straight up pixel art ninja for the pixel art version of Ninja Suffering.
The pixel art version is so accurate to what I was imagining the Ninja Suffering shirt to be that it was
didn't talk about the
shocking when I saw
concept.
it.
It just the one thing is that you came in and said I want cliffs instead of the platform. That was the only input I got from you, and the rest I guess I just intuitively knew.
Well, no, I did tell you that like I told you that my imagination was like that, and then but you like what you produced was like so accurate that it was like freaky. It felt like, oh hell yeah, Ninja Suffering.
It's good shit.
Yeah, I love it.
So
okay, so there's like the
That's a lit.
the pixel art one that is like looks literally like Shinobi 3, and then there's the other one that's like more artistic.
it's like
and
kind
fucking,
of brushstrokey weirdness.
Yeah, I'm really curious to know which one will sell more.
They'll both sell the same because everyone will buy both because they can't choose.
Yeah,
That's my thought.
I personally
Mark's buying them both right now.
If I were to buy one, I'd probably get the pixel one because it's like I really love that yellow.
It's just like, sunset. The sun's setting on your life because you're about to fall into a pit and die. Anyways, we're fucking done. This is over.
You gotta go click the stop stream button.
Buy our shirts. Be our friend.
Buy our
Subscribe on
shirts.
Twitch.
Be on Twitch. Be on there. Be on me. Be on you.
Be the
Be
memes
on
you
we.
wanna
Be
meme.
me
Be on
me me
Discord.
me 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 read fucking audio.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Me. You clicked the record button, not the end stream button. Yes.